Hey y'all, welcome back to part 8 of Uni-doxx, the Docuseries. Part 8 is Uni-doxx gets schooled by the clip channel Mafia. That's what he likes to call us.
Let's see here. We are the current thing. So let's see. I just found out that down the rabbit hole, Queen, and then I saw Makeup Mobster today. I got a notification for that. Has made me the current topic, I guess, for the last few days. That's interesting. I have no clue how this letter can be so interesting to everybody, but okay. I guess that's their prerogative. So let's start from the beginning. Might as well. We're gonna have to do that, I guess. So Friday, was it Friday? Shit. Well, let me just go ahead and tell you guys. Let's start with like whatever day it was that I live streamed a letter in Discord to some of my mods. And now I feel like that was a major mistake. Honestly, that was a major mistake. So my mods had basically told me that there's too many people out there doubting things or something, and yada yada, they need to see the letter. And I said, yeah, but that goes against me doing what I was told to do. And so it would be a trust thing. It would be like one of those things where it's like, I'm only going to show people the letter. I'm only going to let you, go into this. When I say live stream, I mean Discord, by the way. Like, you go into a room in Discord and you can live stream. And of course, I'm sitting there like not knowing what the right thing to do is, because I don't know if I can trust the people that are there. Because I've had this experience where even if you have somebody around for years, they can all of a sudden kind of surprise you and stab you in the back. So the letter live stream, I don't even remember what day it happened. Oh, it was the same day that Exy went out and showed that JLR had admitted that he sent the letters, because now I have two. And so, did the live stream happen? Oh, that's right. Yeah, right after we did the live stream, and I cut the live stream, so after I showed them the letter, and we all sit down and talk to my mother for a moment, that's when they had come in and said, hey, EKC is going live with the letter. And of course, I'm like, okay, well, it better be redacted. And I found out that, in the very least, Exy redacted parts of the letter, so that was, one assurance. But she did admit something, which, I will lay into her for, which is that she didn't, she had to redact one thing from the letter. Because I want to kind of go through the last few days, and then we can, talk. Because I haven't got to talk to you in Discord for a few days. Okay, so basically, let's see here. Let's go through some issues people have. So here's issue number one. People are saying that the letter wasn't a threat or some shit. Yes, it was. They're forgetting. I'm going to be nice. They're forgetting something. I'll say they're forgetting something. They're not forgetting anything, by the way.
Buckle up. Keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times. We are going to jump right in to part 8, starting off with Rabbit from Down the Rabbit Hole News. But let's let Rabbit explain to you where we are headed and why she decided
let's talk,
to
okay?
speak
Because
up.
I know half of you guys here are to talk about that other part of the title that I put in there, all right? And we don't have a really good conversation about the situation. I have been kind of sitting back and thinking about how I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Yeah, and if there's any doxing, please let me know about it. What part? Hey, Muzz, how are you? What part hurts? What part? You tell me. Listen, all right. Let's be real, okay? I'm a little like, I don't know where to land sometimes, okay? But I'm gonna be very honest, and I'm always gonna tell you my thought processes behind things, right? Last summer, okay, and this is where I'm coming from, okay? Last summer, I had called out when we were doing the Marvin McRae coverage, all right? I called out Unirock for various reasons. Okay?
There has actually been a lot of people that didn't even know that Down the Rabbit Hole, Rabbit and Uni had previous interaction before all of this kicked off. Rabbit was one of the very first to call Uni out on his poor behavior.
I'm very concerned right now because, and hear me out, how do you use someone else's content? Nonsense, okay? For like the summer, every day for like many months, there was review of videos. And that is how you would call receipts to a fraud raiser, okay? Now here we are present time, and nonsense is a liar. See, in the world that I come from, like when you go to school, academia, and all that other stuff, right? One of the things that they tell you Okay. And so when you're writing a paper, especially when you're going to do your APA sources and sorting in a lot of other stuff, you have to use something that is recent, like within the 10-year mark, right? And again, that is to support your argument of what you're about to talk about, right? So in my mind, if I do research and I'm about to fraud bust somebody and I'm using somebody else's content to do it, and then 8 months later, I decide to call that person who did the content a liar. So was my content a complete lie? I think I was one of the ones that was able to connect with nonsense way before Unirock or anybody else. Okay.
And all of that is 100% factual.
I have an issue because I think that and number one, I never supported that narrative of a fraud raiser. Never. Okay. And everybody here in the chat will tell you that. I was very vocal against that narrative because, and I'll say it again, I am not the investigative authority. Now, I did interview a person that filed the police report against the Molly, against, these people, against Letitia and everybody else. And however that police report went or that investigation, that would have led whether something was a fraud. You never heard me verbalize, we have a fraud here. We have to bust.
Fraud raising isn't even an actual word in the dictionary. Imagine that.
So to me, when I see somebody running streams, daily streams about busting a fraud, even though they claim to have had experience. And mind you, I've had, shout out to Menace. I think Menace was in one of my chats a couple months ago, and he said, Uni has busted over 300K of fraud raising. And I said, okay, did any of those actually lead to an arrest? You busted over 300K. Is there like a police report out there? An article? Federal charges? I mean, 300K, okay, you would think would suffice, would be enough to be in like the news.
I mean, that would be common sense, but we got to think with uni logic.
Do people scam? Oh, absolutely. Right. And I don't want to go regurgitating to this is what I was told. I was told that they had an Excel sheet. Okay. And I'm not misspeaking. This is what Menace had put in my chat one time. Okay. If a YouTuber can bust over 300K of a fraud raiser, you mean to tell, like, I'm having a hard time because even YouTube having an oversight over that content is a little concerned. Like, what are they doing, right? Because you're allowing people to bust and or play police officer online and bust frauds, okay? But yet we have nothing to substantiate that. Am I off here for feeling that way? So that was the criticism that I gave Unirock. He hit the link. Shout out to him. He hit the link. We talked about it because what had happened.
That convo didn't go how he expected it to either.
I gave that criticism. He hit the link and I said to him, listen, why is this a fraud? Like, what part? Well, we have substantiated information to call this a fraud, and this is what I've dedicated myself. I said, so is your opinion, or do we have receipts that this is a fraud? And this was very early on, right? And I don't think he took the criticism very well, especially because if you are questioning Molly Golightly and she hits the link and she cries, okay, and I completely understand, I get it. Maybe he's not a mean guy. He doesn't know how to question somebody when they're upset, whatever, to each his own, right? But that was the opportunity because prior to Molly hitting the link, you were running streams about this being a fraud raiser. And one of the issues that I had, I said, I don't know where money was allocated. We don't. And it wasn't up to anybody else to try to say, we have evidence being Nonsense's videos and a couple of streams from other people. That's what you call evidence? When Nonsense was rehashing how they got to the point of where they got to and the misinformation that was put out there to convey the story, to continue the harassment of this family, and the fact that this story, there was no dignity to Marbon McCray. And honestly, there's still, in my opinion, YouTube hasn't done a very good job in YouTubers in really being able to facilitate that.
Sadly, as y'all know, it's even gotten worse again.
We're just not the place to do that, right? My opinion. So I gave that feedback. And as you can see, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let this shit be. I said, well, but as I'm seeing people pile onto nonsense, I got these trolls over here trying to dox people over this situation. This is my house. This is my house. Okay. So I don't know who you think you are or what you think you're doing. I don't have anything against him or his support or anybody. I've already said I have a lot of respect for Navy, great guy. But then what rubbed me the wrong way, I'll tell you. Okay. Lysix victim came to my channel. Okay. She did. I asked her to hit the link multiple times because she was in my chat. Hit the link, hit the link. The biggest thing I wanted to tell her, while I had another creator with me, who, by the way, has an impeccable reputation here on YouTube, okay, was to be careful who she talked to, that this was actually a criminal case going on, right? That she needed to be careful and provide her some level of support.
And you can go back and watch that video yourself. It's still up.
It was one thing to have an issue with my talking to her and giving me that criticism. Cool, I could take it. But what I didn't like was you alluding to the fact that I somehow set the victim to be interviewed with this creator. And I didn't even know this. This is the shit that gets to me, and I found out later on. I didn't know you had issues with Ikamel because of Ryan Upchurch.
And many people forgot about all of this.
You see, one thing I found out later on was that Unirock had done some Kylie Rodney coverage. Okay, really what it was is that you were big upping Ryan Upchurch. And Ryan Upchurch, for those that don't know, in the true crime community, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know, he fucked up in that situation. He dragged that family. He doxed. And not only that, accused people of doing shit on YouTube, accused various creators of some heinous shit without receipts.
Upchurch and his fans absolutely tormented that family. He did horrible things to that family.
But honestly, you're the same way too. Because when you put that out there and said that somehow I conspired, and who do we know? And I even reached out to Navy and I said, Navy, I did not get this girl. I didn't set up anybody. I don't expect Navy to answer for you. Okay. So when I see nonsense not responding to Navy, it's because who the fuck are you and how dare you think that that is her job to respond to Navy? She apologized to Navy. She said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that, I said that I insulted you with this vet bashing word. She said that.
And I did. 100%. But again, it was nothing to do with him from the jump. But I still apologize that his feelings got hurt. But looking back, it was nothing to do with his feelings being hurt. It was all damage control on behalf of Uni.
But in all reality, what explanation does she owe you? Her beef is with Unirock. And honestly, I don't know how nobody could see, because I honestly think that, and this is just my opinion, that you took advantage of somebody that was not a creator. Okay. Yeah, you promoted her stuff. I promoted her stuff as well. But I never used her content so excessively that every video that I have, and mind you, you guys can do whatever the hell you want, right? Fair use, whatever. But what you did is you did use her content and twist her words to add to the narrative of a fraud raiser, which is not what she supported in her content.
And he did all of that.
One of the questions that I had, because I didn't quite understand it, and I recently found out, is what is a dono girl? I was under the impression that a dono girl was all the donors, and that wasn't the case. Sounds like there were some people in there that weren't donators that were part of that group.
And once again, just for full transparency, I still don't even know who named them the Dono Girls. The majority of the Dono Girls didn't have anything to do with really anything besides making messes and distractions. A lot of them walked away because it got so messy and nobody could understand what the purpose of that group even was. I knew who a few of them were, and I still know a few of the admins that were present in that group who walked away. But as far as the purpose of that group or them being donators, no. Majority of them had not donated to the family, and it was just like this Facebook group that I guess Uni named the Donor Girls. As y'all know, we got lied to and misled by a bunch of them, so we completely cut ties, thankfully.
No clue. Had no clue about that. If you couldn't take the feedback that I was giving you by asking you, explain yourself how you're determining that this is a fraud based on what was raised. You couldn't take that feedback. You couldn't understand. You couldn't allow it to seek it. You took it as hate. Okay. And I saw that. And that's when I said, I'm going to sit this one back.
Sounds to me like Uni almost held a grudge against Rabbit when she criticized him for his interaction with Molly and Spanky and Goose. Almost kind of feels like he couldn't handle a female creator confronting him about his own behavior, and he held on to that anger and animosity towards her and waited until she was interviewing Jared Lysix's victim to start a whole sideways narrative of things that didn't even happen because he was trying to big ups Ryan Upchurch. Make that make sense. Uni is calculated and slimy as hell.
Because even though you said what you said and you alluded to what you alluded to with the Jared Lysick thing, I still shouted you out. I never had a problem with this man. I super chatted him and everything. But I think one thing you look for is for people. You look for conflict. I don't know what it is. It's like you say, I want feedback. And every time I've heard you, it's like you think people are against you, even today.
He always claims he takes criticism so well. And again, this is Rabbit's video from May 2nd, 2023.
Even today. And I question it all. When you said something about the accounts, let's talk about these accounts. You said you confirmed unrefutable evidence that there's these accounts that Tube Top Tammy and the other lady and these people have. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, what accounts are you talking about? How do you know? What receipts did we even see to even say that?
And once again, just to clarify, no, we're not saying there wasn't issues with this story. What she is saying is Uni has made very bold claims that he has evidence for, which in reality, if you followed the story, you know that's just not the case. Do we think that there was misappropriation of funds? Absolutely. But we are YouTubers, and these are our opinions based on what little facts they have shown.
I'm so confused. It is really hard to remain impartial in this situation when here I am big upping nonsense on her content, which she did a fabulous job. She worked her ass off. She did. But then here you are months later when you can't take some feedback. First of all, Betty didn't dox her. That's what she said. Betty didn't dox me. You still kept going. In my opinion, it's a dox. Oh, okay, shit. All right. It must be true. The other thing is like you have this in that none of us have with YouTube. Okay, cool. It's called Creator Studio. Let me go message them. We all have it.
Rabbit laying down those facts one after another.
I'm so confused. I do question everything. I do, including the letter. I sympathize if there was a letter sent and say if, because I don't know between, at this point, it's like Lettergate 2023. Okay. At first, you told Queen today, well, before I went live, I talked to my lawyer, my attorney, and my family, my mom, before you went live. But then you went live and you told everybody you had to talk to your attorney. So I'm like, well, who the fuck? Which one is it, yo?
And if you missed all that flip-flopping lies, part 7 is where you'll find them.
So every piece of work that you have done, you have no credibility. You don't. And that's not being a hater. I'm just being honest. So when you sit here and you talk about fraud raising and exposing it, how are you any different than Bullhorn Betty who heckles outside that door and says you murdered your child when you're over here accusing somebody of frauding everybody? You're doing the same. Same. And this echo chamber that surrounds you, because I saw it. Everybody's very careful to say, it's crazy to me because it seems a little bit of an echo chamber. Now, a lot of you guys are supporters of his. If you unsubscribe, that is absolutely fine. I understand. Okay.
And thankfully, she didn't use the term purge.
Okay. No shade, no hate. All right. But some of us are impacted by the way, if you decide to use somebody's content like nonsense, like I've used her stuff, heels on the ground. Here's the other thing. Heels, or not heels on the ground. I'm sorry. Heels in the air. Really nice lady. Okay. It didn't have to go this far.
And if you don't know what she's talking about with the heels in the air situation, we will take a look back at that in just a moment when Rabbit is finished.
So I never really quite understood. A strike is not going to take you down. It sounds like you got some trauma from when you went viral. Listen, I go viral, the phone goes ringing, and the phone stops ringing, I'll get another fucking phone. Okay? I am not that far away from people. I really am not. I'm not. And a lot of people have said that, I try to be the type of person that you got to show me who you are, and then I'll determine, kind of like I go from that, right? But the man has a track record, and he could definitely say it was their fault, it was his fault, they were their fault, it was the Katie Joys, the caterers, and this. It does not matter, yo. As creators, we will get haters. I have them, right?
Uni surrounds himself with a built-in buffer so he doesn't have to take accountability for anything he does.
But at the same time, this is a little bit different because it's like, I see the damage, right? I honestly feel like, as much as you guys don't like to hear it, you know, because you guys are on that team and I get it. Some of you, I feel like you took advantage of nonsense. I feel like you saw somebody that was very green. I feel like you're coming from a community where you get a lot of heat, and you felt like using somebody who already has a good reputation, is aligning her stuff. You used nonsense. Even though she might have been monetized by your subs and all that, I get that. But in my opinion, you used nonsense. She gave you the credibility that you needed. She gave you the end to a community that you needed. That's how I see it.
And once again, I just have to give Rabbit a huge shout out. She was one of the first creators to come out and actually speak on this and give her perspective on the whole thing. And I appreciate her so much. But we'll get back to Rabbit in a moment because we're not done with her yet. But we're going to switch gears because she brought up heels in the air in the situation there. And because Uni has mentioned heels in the air and blamed heels for somehow being the catalyst of all of this stuff in the get-go, I figured it's time we take a look back at what actually transpired between Uni and Heels. In Heels' own words. The upcoming video is from April 14th, and you can find it still on Heels in the Air's channel. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this because Heels is going to explain the situation, and then I will throw in some screenshots to add to it. But I think it's important to hear the creators and their experiences with Uni because everything got so mixed up and a lot of us got blamed for things that we had no part in. And Heels took the brunt of a lot of that. And once again, I'm not going to really pause a whole lot through this because I want you to hear it from their perspective. And they all worked really hard on these clips, so I'm not going to Uni them. But what the hell is on his head? Make sure you read the captions so you're not confused throughout this video.
That you guys have done. The only time any of you were able to be correct was when you did it with the Letitia fundraiser. Because you already had their financial information. That's the only time you ever correctly doxed anybody.
The turtles, who was this? That was Bert.
It really is platinum. Like, I am probably going to end up ordering one of those, like, you know, funky coffee makers eventually now that I've switched. I don't have to learn, you know, the best recipe and I'll do little designs on the top of the thing, right? I'll get there.
Okay.
Serious.
It wasn't burnt toast, don't worry. I mean, they're so incompetent even at doxing people.
I mean,
Does Volleyvision... Is it me? Or does Volleyvision... is a little too harsh. It was Minecraft. Though, you remember, it was funny because Molly was trying to say, you live in a basement, you're a basement dweller, Basement Rock. And that's why I changed my name to Basement Rock up there, because of Molly. But you know what? It's kind of what Molly does the things she does. It's almost like she projects when she gets mad.
you're goddamn sure.
Oh my god, I can't take this video. I can't take the backdrop, but okay, now she's insulting Mal in ways that are just ridiculous, and Mal should not feel bad and not listen to what Molly said. And you know Mal did. So it's just, you know what it is? It's punishment. I'm not gonna play this. I'm not playing this. I'm done. I'm not playing. It is just...
So, after I watched the Chronicles video, there had been several instances of Unirock, and I want to say he did support. He did praise my videos and played them a lot. My problem is not the support. My problem is we work hard on the videos. And I don't mind someone pausing. I'm not saying you can't pause, but I think that's a little much to completely destroy someone's work because, again, I'm not just clipping. I'm not clipping so other channels can use my clips, okay? I'm clipping because I want to make a video. I've never clipped so that with that in mind. I didn't even know people really did that at first. So you keep in mind when you're taking the clips from my video that you're kind of stepping on my work. And Chronicles said nothing to me. She had nothing to do with anything, any part of the DM I wrote, nothing. I wrote that myself. But watching you do that to her video, it just crushed me. Chronicles wouldn't say anything. I'm kind of, you know, the big mouth. But I hope you understand, anybody that's watched you for those 3 days that you were going on and I didn't say anything publicly, that you didn't get back in touch with me. I had to go through Navy. Navy wasn't telling me anything. So, and he says right here, you have to go through him. So I did. I wrote this DM. And I'm still kind of losing my voice, so I'm going to try to speak gently. Unirock is disrespectful to the clip channels he uses and reacts to. The way he did Chronicles today was beyond the pale. We literally spend hours making a 5-minute video, gathering the clips, clipping at the exact moment, so that there's no extra dialogue at beginning or end. We put them in a certain order for continuity, then we add text or speak for context, and we watch, rewatch, tweak over and over to get the timing right, especially if we add humor, then the editing for appearance. And he sits there and steps all over the entire video every 3 to 5 seconds to make a 5 to 10 minute comment. That is so wrong and so arrogant for someone who has been around YouTube as long as he has. It is disingenuous to say he does it for fair use. Pausing twice in 5 minutes is plenty, and we would never strike him if he played them straight through. I will now, though. He does not have my permission to play my videos. He saw me talking about it in chat before, and today he ignored me. That's okay. You can give him this message or have a talk with him. I'm not the only creator who feels this way. I'm trying to find where I said it would strike him. Pausing twice in 5 minutes is plenty, and we would never strike him if he played it straight through. I would never strike him. I guess I did say we, but I didn't mean we. I meant I. I wasn't trying to include anyone because this is just me. I'm not speaking for anyone else, but I can't imagine the way you played Chronicles that it could have made her happy. I would never, ever strike anyone. First of all, strikes are stupid. People do them. I mean, for me, that's all I could think that would make you stop playing my video because it's a pain in the ass to get a strike. But you know as well as I do, I would strike you, you would counter-strike. I wouldn't go to court in 10 days. No one can afford, at our level, on YouTube, to take anyone to court, to federal court. Not going to happen. So, it's just a pain in the ass. So I would never do it. So here's what happened next. Within minutes of sending this message, your girlfriend, Rachel, jumps on Twitter. This message was not to her that I just read to you. It was to Unirock, expecting a response. She posts, I retract my endorsement for any clip channel fills in the air who threatens to strike a channel that shouts them out, even when not using their clips. Unirock TV is a commentary channel. It all falls under fair use anyway. But I've unsubbed and they'll never get another shout out. I didn't put anything on Twitter. I didn't say a word about this on Twitter. And I get this, and someone sent this to me in DM. It had been written maybe hours before. I didn't even know she put it up. I was just waiting for a response. Then she blocks me. Blocks me, so I can't say anything to her. You are blocked from following Unirachel's and viewing Unirachel's tweets. So then Rockalot goes on YouTube, and in a community post, he says, Sales in the air, I apologize. I definitely was pausing way too much. I shouldn't have streamed today. I had to fast yesterday and didn't sleep much last night, so I was a little goofy. I'm off to bed. Either way, thanks for the criticism. I said, thank you for understanding. Then Rachel decides to comment under his comment. She's replying to Gaslit Society, who was asking her what's going on, who's giving strikes or something like that. And she says, no strikes given, just threats of it from her actual Twitter account, which it was not. I never tweeted anything. If he ever plays her clips ever again, now that they are finished using him for what they wanted. Okay, bitch. I have a membership. I have super chatted him several times. I promoted his channel by using clips of him in my videos. And I never said anything to you. I never sent you anything. And I didn't tweet this publicly. It was a private message.
I'm sorry, but I just gotta add, what the hell was anybody using Uni for? Exactly what service do they think Uni provides besides a whole lot of drama and distractions?
A strike? I don't strike anyone. I've never struck anyone. I don't plan to strike anyone. Why would I? It's 2 and 3 minute clips. I'm going to spend $12,000 to strike Unirock? No. That was me being upset that he just wasn't listening. And it was like he just didn't care. But had he talked to me or had you DM'd me instead of doing this? So anyway, she puts this under the community post. I think this is gaslit. I didn't know Sales in the Air was striking people for playing their videos. Really? Because a lot of creators use their clips, and I've never heard anything like that about them before. I didn't try to get anything twisted or step on anyone's toes. So now we have other people, my subs, thinking I'm going around striking people. This was a private fucking message. It was a private fucking message. Then, maybe 2 days later, Unirock, after all this is going on his comments, but I said, you're defaming my channel, stop it. And then finally, 2 days later, after his apology and after she's doing all this in the comments, how did I defame anyone? I think there is some kind of misunderstanding. I've done nothing but support everybody in this community and be as fair as I can. Well, no, you didn't. But here we go with this smartass.
Oh, poor Uni. Once again, always about poor Uni. How he supports everybody by using their content and completely destroying the context of the videos. Gotcha. That's him supporting all of us, though.
Gonna go into drama. But what I will do is offer you the ability to talk to me, the ability to come on my show, and the ability for us to hash out our differences and understand each other and come to compromises.
You're full of shit.
So just for those of you that applies to, understand.
Okay.
I don't care if you don't like me now or if you're mad at me. I still support the people that I support because I support them for a reason.
Okay.
He supports those channels because he gets his content from the channels. Uni is incapable of doing his own content. But if that didn't say true misogynist, I don't know what will. And Uni, by the way, you don't need to allow us to come on your show. I don't see anybody jumping at the opportunity to come on your show. More like you trying to use all of us for our credibility for your show.
And I have that. What's going on is not going to invalidate my support
Nothing.
warn you now.
Oh, you're going to warn me? You're going to warn me? You're not going to warn anybody, Unirock. I don't even know where you came from, but this really pissed me off.
I don't know what rock he crawled out from under either, but he's not welcome on the island either. And going to warn Heels, probably a real dumb mistake on your behalf.
Oh, my God. Go ahead.
Regardless if you are a clip channel or if I'm reacting to your upload, the video
What's the warning? Okay, get to the warning.
that you contain in your video also hold a copyright claim
No, they don't. Not
when
when
you are a clip channel.
Not when it's transformed.
So if you want me to react by pausing every couple minutes, the people that own the copyright to the clips in your clip video
Yes, yeah.
could still strike me.
No, not if it's transformed.
It doesn't work where you just have this.
Maybe it's because you keep saying I'm a clip channel and others are clip channels. I don't know what the official definition is, but I am not a clip channel gathering clips for creators who don't have someone to do it for them or they don't have time. I get it. Again, I don't mind that anyone uses I love it that they use my videos. Anyway, I'm going to get off on a tangent.
Uni doesn't even understand the definition or the difference between clip channels and commentary channels. In my opinion, Uni is more of a clip channel because he uses other people's clips for his entire show. He cannot provide full context or commentary on these situations because somebody else has to do the research and find the clips for him. So in other words, he doesn't even really provide context or factual context to the clips he's using. So again, in my opinion, he falls more into the lines of a clip channel versus a commentary channel. And in my opinion, Heels in the Air is definitely a commentary channel. But Uni will say, oh no, according to whatever rule he thinks was written about the definition of these channels, he'll try to argue with you until he's blue in the face and say, well, this is what it is. No, Uni, nobody cares. Keep your weirdo logic somewhere else.
If you think we're just doing the clip channel for you, you're wrong. And as far as they're having a copyright, no. And how fucking stupid do you think people are? You think that Molly's going to strike you because I put a clip and I've transformed it and she's going to strike you while you're... Yeah, you don't know the copyright law like you say you do. Although you're going to say that in just a second.
Overarching copyright.
Yes,
to
that
your
is exactly what I have. I have an overarching copyright once I transform it. Exactly.
video, unless it can be argued to be fully transformative.
Right.
That determination is up to YouTube legal and
No, it's not. It's up to a judge. Once you strike me, or I strike you, or Molly strikes you, or whomever, I would have to go to California to district court, copyright lawyer, and you've thrown away thousands by the time you get there. And you think anyone's going to do that over a 30-second clip in a transform? It's up to a judge. The judge will decide after you go through all that trouble, the timing, how often you did it, how much you transformed it. All of that is up to a judge. There's no certain amount of time to pause. There's no certain length of a clip, or it has to do with fiction, nonfiction, comment, criticism. And if you don't think video is transformative, then don't play it. Okay? If that's what you think, just don't play it. That would be the best way for you not to get struck by 5 other people in my clips.
Uni do his own work? Oh gosh, that couldn't happen.
I'm not worried about them striking me. They can strike me. They've never taken me to court.
So to be safe, I will be pausing what I...
See? That's the attitude. I'm warning you. I will be safe by stepping all over your video. That's your warning. Okay. So anyway, transformative works make use of copyrighted material, but do so in a way that the resulting work is fully copyrightable. Okay, that came from the copyright type law or whatever. So here we go some more.
We are all people with emotions, and I
More condescending.
respect that. Hopefully, by these people seeing that I'm going to respect them even when they're mad at me or first...
I don't need you to respect me. I'm asking you, or ask you, to respect my work. Again, I love when people play my videos. Love it. I'll sit there and watch. But if you look at your chat when you're doing what you do, people are saying, just play it, just play it. You took an hour for an 8-minute video. Her video is completely lost. No one's going to be interested. You're not even going to remember what it was about. How are you promoting that way? You're not promoting.
I don't even know what, but anyway, until I talk to them and then I'll know.
Yeah, well, you had a chance and you did not talk to me. And you can't tell me, unless Rachel just took it upon herself to handle it for you, but you did apologize, so you did read it. You never DM'd me. You never tried to get in touch with me. I asked Navy 3 times. And nothing. I got nothing from you.
At least that shows them I'm giving them a respect, even though they are mad.
Yeah, see? Such bullshit. This makes me not want to believe a thing you say. Okay, so then he goes on for I think it was 2 days. He also did a hour-long Facebook.
I featured Heels because I like her.
I did it because I wanted to help. And I'm being told I did something wrong there. Fine, here's what I'll do. If I did something...
Okay, Uni, that's so passive aggressive. Thank you. I thank you for helping me. You're not going to make me apologize to you because I had a criticism one time and you've made it into a 3-day fucking ordeal.
Tool that I know that I've taught under fair use. What this means is your new creation in its entirety may be something you can copyright if someone else was to just drastically upload it or try to abuse your copyright in some way. And I'm really, really confused on how clip channels, when they go in knowing they're not the creator of the music, they didn't create the dancing intros, they didn't create the clips they're pulling from, you would never expect any of them to use the copyright system unless someone is stealing their videos without any commentary or reaction. What is more offensive about this situation is that the person, if we compare Beats on the Streets to Heels, only because I have to, I love them both, I will love them both after this. This is a criticism. I'm being fair, I'm willing to change my mind, only through discussion and honesty though. Okay, so Heels compared to Beats. Heels might put a text box in, or say something for under 1 second, 1.5, I know because I went back and counted. The majority of every response is extremely short. Does that mean it's less of a claim to transformation? It can be. Someone...
I don't need to explain this to you, but you're wrong. And you're not watching all of my videos. You're watching just the ones you want to grab real quick. The latest ones. You didn't start watching mine until 4 months ago. I've been here 2 years. I've been doing it 2 years. And don't ever compare one channel to the other one. I would not do that with you because if I did, I would hurt your fucking feelings.
And even then, you're still going to get, what, 3,000 to 8,000 on a normal kind of video. Because I pause, because I transform, because I do what my lawyer and YouTube's videos that teach you how to be a creator, and practicing this for all these years because I do that, I know that I would win if I went to court. So I'm not worried or scared. I just don't want y'all to hate someone because they misunderstood the system, got mad at me because I am a goofball, I do pause too much.
Who hates me? That's ridiculous. You think people hate me now because of a private DM that your batshit girlfriend threw up on Twitter? Wow, because I do my videos for my subs. That's what I do them for. Period. I don't make money. And the whole striking thing, I'm not even going to apologize because of how you've done this. You can kiss my ass. Okay? All right. You're going to, if you just feel compelled to take an entire hour to play a 3-minute clip, just please don't play them. You know, I mean, I appreciate it, but just don't play it.
Hopefully that helps people understand some of what happened with Uni and Heels. Uni continues to blame Heels for things when in reality she had nothing to do with the rest of us calling Uni out. And once again, that video is from April 14th. It's not in its entirety, so if you'd like to watch the rest of the video, please go over to Heels in the Air and check it out. I will link her in the description with everybody else. Uni definitely got his feelings hurt over that situation because he attempted to destroy Heels' credibility when he got his fifis hurt over this situation. And instead of people questioning Heels, they supported Heels. And Uni was not thrilled about that. But she definitely isn't to blame for all of Uni's downfalls either. That's just not the case. But let's keep it moving and hop right into May 3rd. Back into the timeline. Now, hopefully you understand some of why Heels has been blamed for things that she didn't even have a part in. And what's crazy is not only Uni, but the people around him attempted to gaslight everybody over the Heels situation like they did about everything else. But we're going to hop into a quick little snippet of my stream from May 3rd, just so I can point out some comments that happened in my comment section that Uni took and twisted and turned.
Everybody told me to do this. You need the entire internet to tell you what to do. Like, how many bosses do you have? Who do you actually work for? You come off as this big independent, everything know-it-all on the YouTube that everybody should come to you. You know what you're doing so much like that. But now you have bosses that you have to check in with before you know how to handle situations. And you tout yourself as this big investigative, like, fraud buster over here, but you can't even think for yourself and know what to do with said letter. Considering JLR, you have talked about it, supposedly is on probation. If he sent said letter, handwritten letter, and things were actually threatening, there is proper courses that should have been taken, like contacting law enforcement and letting them handle it the proper way, right? Okay.
Again, just pointing out that this was my stream from May 3rd, 2023, and you'll notice the comment with the arrows from Briahana. Pay attention to that comment because now we're going to skip into Uni's live from May 3rd, 2023. Well, I was live reacting to Uni going on Queen's stream at this point in time. So magically, of course, in true Uni fashion, he went live at the same time. But you'll find it kind of interesting in the end of this, what he claimed.
We've been chilling for a couple days, obviously, so that we could try. As the last stream, right? You probably watched it. A lot of angry people probably didn't, but for those of you that...
If you missed the streams that he's talking about, you can do a quick recap in parts 6 and 7. You won't miss anything. We got all of his twists and turns outlined. And sadly, Uni, nobody was really angry. It's just criticism that made your thin skin start to melt.
Did. My only response now that we've had time to pull people's criticisms is keep an eye out for an upload on Unirock 2 where I will address them. But until then...
Still waiting on those documentaries you're making on all of us.
If it doesn't fit Traj pimping, if it doesn't fit that kind of thing, I'm not going to talk about it live. Also, I think it would just be damaging for the community to do it back and forth. Like, if you're cool with each other, you could probably just, you know, talk and get it done that way.
He sure thinks that he's owed respect, but you can see he doesn't give anybody else that same consideration.
But we do have an update for you about an MSN article that's been, you know, shared around by a lot of people. Not missing puzzle pieces, Whispers. Whisper shared it, Queen shared it. I know that a bunch of other people shared it.
Of course, all those channels had covered this, including Down the Rabbit Hole News. But Uni has to mirror other people's content. He is not original at all. We're just going to go ahead and skip on through this live stream because there wasn't really anything until the end.
Let's see.
Hey, Bubba.
Navy. Have you been following along, man? Let me give you a view here because I'm glad. I was kind of wanting you to be here for the Airsoft Fatty thing, so.
I included this piece just so people could understand that as of May 3rd, yes, after all of these parts, the Uni fam was still intact and Navy was still coming on panel as Uni's co-host as of this moment. Again, the date on these streams is from May 3rd, 2023. And if you watched part 7, you saw the extent of the lies that had been told up until this point. Now again, we started in timeline with the PayPals and have just moved our way forward, but we're still not even to the part where we learned that it's a cease and desist. But the Uni fam and people around him had been trying to do damage control on his behalf, and you can see the amount of lies that he had told up until this point already.
Okay, did you say you know about this dude, Terry Perry or whatever his name is? Jim Terry?
Yeah, I was listening. So the other day, he was actually went on Down the Rabbit Hole News' channel, and she had like a little talk with him about.
I also had to leave that in there because all Uni's response was, oh. And yes, in the beginning of this, we opened up with Rabbit's video from May 2nd. So this is the day after Rabbit had weighed in on some of the things that were happening at the time. Don't worry, we're still going to check back in with her shortly. I actually had said to Rabbit, I bet Uni was going to cover this. And sure as hell, there he did, because everybody else around him had already covered it. So he just had to mirror the content. That's kind of what he had been doing all summer long. But let's skip on through and get rid of all this nonsense. We don't need this in here. Let's just get to the juicy parts.
So, you know, by Jessica Lucas. This was on May 2nd, 2023. This was just yesterday? I thought this had been being shared for a few days. Wow. Okay.
I think it came out yesterday, and that's why I think Rabbit was streaming on it and then got him on.
Okay. I found it through people sharing it on their community tabs. Queen, Whispers, and a bunch of other people shared it, so.
He can't believe that Navy is saying Down the Rabbit Hole News on his channel, considering she criticized him the night before the stream. He is so irritated. You can just see it all over his face. And Navy is just giving credit where credit is due and explaining the situation.
I think it was on Twitter too, but I didn't see it there till after. Okay. Oh, this is that Jim Terry thing. Okay, we want to close that. So, I think Menace is going to make a video soon. And he's right now dealing with family stuff, which is understandable.
So this video, again, is from May 3rd. So Uni is saying that Menace is going to be doing a video, but he had some family things going on, which we all know he did. And thankfully, I think things turned out well. Again, I have no personal feelings towards any of these people, but I'm just trying to lay out the timeline of events. So on May 3rd, Uni is saying that Menace is going to be doing a video, which of course Menace comes in and does a lot of these topics in his videos. So that is not uncommon.
He's going to weigh in on a bunch of stuff. He's put some tweets out. I don't know if you guys are following Menace over on Twitter. I hope you do. I won't read one of the tweets. I'll let you read it yourself. He puts out a kind of a statement that I would like to read, but I'm going to wait and handle it in an upload.
Still waiting on your upload there, Uni. Oh, wait. Are you talking about Menace's upload that he did on May 13th in response to attempting to deflect once again off of your behavior?
Though I am going to be doing a separate upload about Charlotte and Ski Mask Andy and what happened there. We aren't going to go into that right now, just to warn you. That way, you know, you don't get clickbaited. Ski Mask ain't.
If you caught part 7, you already know that Uni is in his fifis about being called out about his clickbaity ass from one and only Captain Napton. She absolutely had Uni so upset that she called him clickbaity.
Never going to change because Charlotte talks about him. It's not like she's saving the world here. So here she is purposely trying to trigger this nutter who she knows will go after her family. And for what? Only one thing in it for her, says Menace. And again,
I mean, that kind of sounds like the exact same thing that Uni did to JLR. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
And I don't have an issue, as I said in my kick video, with her doing content on him or Michelle or whoever. Whoop. I hope things are well, says Booty. Things are great, Booty. I'll talk, let me handle this next topic and I'll give you guys an update on everything.
And yes, I will cut out a majority of the useless babble that he does. But there's a few pieces that I wanted to leave in here because us ladies had him in his fifis. And he mentions a few other creators, so I figured why not give them a shout out today too. Part 8 is about all of the creators that had something to say about Uni and his behavior. Bet you didn't see this one coming, did you, Uni?
But I'm showing this thing for a reason. As you recall, we talked about the Charlotte thing in the previous stream. We just didn't have a lot of time to hit everything. So
he is using Charlotte on the web to bring up this right here. That's it. That's all.
One of the things that got brought up was sad fishing and what it is. And I think it was Joneson was in my chat and she said, but you sad fish all the time. And I said, I don't sad fish at all. Because somebody telling you what's going on with something, I don't think is sad fishing. I think there's a definition to sad fishing. I think we all know what it is. So my response to Joneson, of course, was I broke down what the definition was and why I don't sad fish and then explained why Charlotte did, the differences. So
this clown is still bothered at the fact that Joneson said in his chat that he was sad fishing. He held on to that and just couldn't get it off his chest, so he had to use another creator in order to bring this back up so he could address how he was right and he explained the definition. Uni, you can't even define the wreck that you've put yourself in. And all I need is one word to define it. Hysterical. So in true typical Uni fashion, he is going to pull clips that are completely unrelated, but his example of sad fishing and how he doesn't fit that example because Joneson said he was sad fishing in his chat and he is holding a grudge and just can't get over it. So he had to go out and search for content so he could bring up that his fifis are hurt. All right, gotcha, Uni. Once again, I'm going to clip majority of all of this out. Because none of us even care. But he did. He cared this much. Again, this is the art of chaos and confusion because his subs and people watching him didn't even realize that that's what he was doing. This is the typical spin of events for Uni. So they don't even realize that he is actually upset and really triggered by something else, but plays it off to be this. Those deflection and manipulation tactics, he has definitely tried to master.
Jessica says, sad fishing is emotionally manipulating subs to donate, give to your channel. I've never seen you do that or being dishonest in any way. Well, yeah, I mean, again, I'd love to hear why someone thinks that. The thing I don't like.
All right, comment section, that one's for you. Give examples of why you think Uni sad fishes. And Jessica, I hope you've changed your opinion on that you've never seen Uni tell a lie because, ma'am, there are so many, nobody can even keep up and count them at this point in time. And that's by using Uni's own words to answer Uni's own questions. Signed, a small YouTuber whose integrity is still intact.
And the thing that I haven't liked lately about what the community is doing is that, you know, people are going after like people in my chat, like Frog on Twitter has this little group of people that are just attacking her.
And just to be clear, I did not see any of that myself, nor did I engage in any of these quote unquote attacks. But once again, he is letting everybody know that the Uni fam was still intact and standing strong together at this point. I had only seen Frog once or twice previous to this and just barely knew that she was Navy's girlfriend. Up until the moment I started to criticize Uni, then they made their presence very well known. And yes, a lot of these people were involved in the nonsense is nonsense room and the conversations in the Discord about how they could trigger me in my comment section to get me off topic. And sadly, this is just the facts. And yes, I know that some of them are no longer standing on his side, but at this point in time, they all were. And this is not a fictional documentary. This is based on the facts.
People are going after Navy instead of listening to him. Like
people are going after Navy instead of listening to him. Excuse me? And I'm sorry, but I did listen to him and nothing changed. He came out as a distraction and a deflection off the criticism that I had been giving you. He said he was offended by things that I had said. He claimed that I was lying about situations. Meanwhile, I was using Uni's own words. But instead of letting me finish or get to the point and show exactly where I was headed, they had a knee-jerk reaction and jumped the gun, thinking I was headed one direction when I even wasn't. I got stuck on stupid almost instantly, trying to do damage control on behalf of Uni's own ass. But come again and tell me who I should have been listening to? I'd love to see you try this again. I think it's about time these boys realized they stepped into an arena with strong, independent females.
They're going after me, of course, but and I thought that the whole point.
Yet, we've heard Uni say it himself that criticism is not an attack. And yet here he has played the victim over and over again. And nobody had been attacking him. They had been criticizing his behavior. And that's what was happening to the people around him when they attempted to gaslight and manipulate people into believing that what we were seeing Uni do wasn't actually what was being done. No wonder why people had questions and felt some sort of way. A lot of us don't like when people attempt to gaslight us when we know that's exactly what they're doing.
Was if we have a criticism, we want to hear it. We want to know what people are saying. That hasn't been happening lately. So,
Meanwhile, ignoring all of the criticism he had been given.
We're going to handle it the way we handle it without inflaming the community, without fighting, without going back and forth. Unfortunately, we're still hitting a point with a lot of this stuff that just seems emotionally or anger driven. So we're just going to.
I see your true colors shining through.
Uni is giving you a full example of his misogyny. Those of us criticizing him were just emotional or angry. So once again, trying to devalue our feelings or our opinions. Uni, I'm so embarrassed for you that you make this so easy.
After time, anger and emotions like that will die down. And once they die down, then people can look at what, people are thinking and saying and go in and actually match it to evidence, match it to clips, match it to what was there.
Can't use that excuse anymore, Uni, because I did just that. I went in and grabbed the clips of exactly what you said.
Right now, let's say I tried to find just one. I was looking for one criticism. Let's pull it out. We'll handle it. We'll upload on it. You have to go through all kinds of claims, all kinds of people saying things are happening, people claiming that they feel a certain way, people getting mad, people yelling. I'm not down for all that, so.
Well, so far, just in this video, you've seen 3 people speak. Rabbit, Heels, and myself. Nobody was yelling, and it was pretty easy to identify the issues that we were criticizing him over. There were a lot of people that started to be very vocal.
I don't think anyone can really be angry for more than a couple days. So, we're just going to do our thing, and then we'll respond to everything that was there,
So in Uni logic, I'm going to wait for my boys to come in and make videos so people are completely confused and gaslit into believing other things are happening. So the criticism gets deflected off of me, and therefore I don't ever have to respond to it. That's what I would come up with using my Uni logic, of course.
To be a little bit late, okay. But the last thing I want to do is, and I've saved just 5 minutes to do this, I'm okay to be a little bit late, okay. But the last thing I'm going to say and the last thing I'm going to do here, I told you I'd give you an update, so let's do it.
You might want to grab your helmets for the upcoming pieces. It's a little all over the place.
Okay, so Navy, I need you to look at my screen. And look in, can you see general chat?
Yeah.
Lizard lair? Okay.
Okay, so Navy is still on panel with him at this time. So obviously we know they're typing back and forth messages behind the scenes.
It's up to you.
Later.
Do it.
Yep. I'm opening it up right now. You know, I think I'd probably wait and just let Menace do his thing.
Navy's response to Uni is, I'd probably just wait and let Menace do his thing. Interesting, huh? Because we knew Menace was dealing with family issues. Wouldn't you know, what's the first video when Menace came back? Yeah. And tell me that's not an attempt at deflecting the criticism off Uni?
Talk about it.
Okay, all right. Now, okay. So as you know, there's been some drama lately. So I'm going to give you an update. But for those of you that don't know what we did or how we handled it, I said this
I guess it makes a little more sense why he always is using the term we.
Before, but it was, you know, in a different stream. Just going to make sure that any of you peeps may, know now. We decided to take a break for a few days so that from that topic, so that Navy could upload after
They claim they took a break so Navy could upload his video. And what video did Navy upload? Well, the one Navy did addressing me and missing the complete point. So once again, instead of talking about the topic at hand, which would have been all of the lies that Uni had told, they deflect away from that.
We uploaded, we did a stream, we filled you in. That stream is the last stream. I will refer you to it because we were very direct and laid it all.
He was very direct in that video. Oh my God, Uni.
All on the table, and we made sure at the end of the stream to go through it 2 times, not just once or twice, extra, 2 times.
The amount of secondhand embarrassment I have for him.
So again, you know, people are asking a lot from me right now. Ironically, just as many people, if I look at any subject, are people asking for the exact opposite. Therefore, if you want something from me, if you have a criticism for me, somehow let me know. You kind of do have to do that, right?
Let you know, I think everybody was being very clear of what the criticism was, Uni. The only one that had a hard time processing it was you and the people around you. You got so caught up in attempting to deflect from the criticism you were getting that you completely created a whole fictional story to go right along with it. Don't you wish you wouldn't have avoided the criticism and just handled that instead of making up all of these crazy lies?
I mean, I say it all the time. It's not my job, if I do a long stream, to just expect another creator to watch it. And that's why I'll upload a video. That's why I'll put out a clip, or that's why I'll tag them somewhere. So if you have an issue or something that you want me to do, that's the best way to do it, because I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm doing the opposite. And
in part 7, you heard all of his excuses and his lies when he was asked questions about this letter when he took panel at QueenBee's. Now, the day after that stream, he's doing everything the opposite of what he's being criticized for doing.
All I want you to weigh in on, Navy, is give people a little breakdown of what we're trying to do about criticism. What you've seen us trying to do about criticism.
This is where that whole co-hosting thing became questionable to me. Uni doesn't actually want a co-host. Uni wants a buffer, and that's where Navy comes in to play. A co-host to me is somebody that is allowed to give an opinion on things and actually talk on the show. Kind of seems like Uni treats Navy like he was only there for an excuse or the buffer.
And let me just say my piece before you say yours.
Let me say my piece before you say yours. Is that like my opinion's more important than yours, so I'm going to talk first? I mean, it's Uni, so he barely lets anybody else talk as is. But I find that just hysterical.
I'm trying to hear everyone's criticism. If people are being honest with it, if they're actually clipping things, showing what they're actually talking about, if they're not just making claims.
I don't think you should probably ever talk on honesty again, dude.
If they're not just lying or something or whatever, we're trying to take it and respond in an upload once we, get it all together.
What's crazy is you've claimed to have all of these clips and videos and things that you were going to expose us all on over a month ago, and you have yet to drop a single thing except more lies you've told. You might want to learn how to drop proof, because you've made some hefty accusations about a lot of people with no proof of it, though, Uni. I think it's time you hit us with one of these world-famous documentaries you make.
Because I don't want to get any of the good criticism or anyone's honest point lost in a lot of lying, a lot of attacks, a lot of stuff done for views and drama and clicks. I'm doing the...
Bro, ain't nobody using you for clicks and views, because let me just burst your bubble once again. The views drop when it's content on you. I hate to let you know that, but it's true.
opposite. It's not easy when you've got a bunch of people doing a bunch of things saying, we're mad at him because he's generating drama, he causes drama, he does all of this, but they don't say how. We tried to do the opposite of cause drama and do all those things.
You tried to do the opposite of all those things. No, sir. You just wrote a complete fictional narrative from top to bottom for no need whatsoever. That's what you did. Okay.
Through our show, and then people will still make that, statement. I would think that the drama is coming from elsewhere, but Navy, you go ahead and jump in real quick before we go. You can say whatever you want, and then we're going to exit.
Well, it's like I said a couple of times. The thing is, people make claims and all kind of stuff and criticism of certain things, and we respond to it. The biggest thing is that you respond to it with receipts proving, what they said wrong, or you offer to fix, if the criticism is true, you offer to fix it, and then you just go on. Because
they never even gave me the respect to listen to the criticism I was giving Uni. Instead, they had a knee-jerk reaction and completely twisted everything I was criticizing Uni for and giving examples of into something it wasn't. They attempted to gaslight and manipulate my own subs to believing that I was lying about something when I was using Uni's own words. So where was this offer to fix the things I was criticizing him for? In fact, I got demanded to do things and people to listen to.
Yep. No point in going back and forth about it over and over again. It's not helpful. It's not healthy. It's not good.
Well,
and it keeps Uni from taking any accountability whatsoever.
Let me ask you, being someone that's witnessed me try to handle this without causing drama, but trying to, make sure I can address the criticism. Have you seen me do anything wrong or anything I should do differently to make that happen?
All the times I've seen you address criticism, things like that. It's, you just come back with the receipts and stuff, and that's what I enjoy.
Where's the receipts? Because I must have missed that, because I haven't seen Uni pull out receipts for any of the lies he's told as of recently, or respond to any of the criticism that he was actually being given.
If I had to say anything, I think sometimes when we all fall prey to this a little bit, sometimes it's done on purpose to get a response. And I think sometimes you do respond when, and I've told you this in this one, like, I don't think you should respond to this, right?
Okay.
And so that would be probably my biggest
what I expected to hear, but okay. So you're saying that I'm entertaining too many things that you and others believe are bait responses or drama things or something, right?
He's easy to bait. I've said that all along. You can bring up things like him living in his mom's basement, and he will go on and on about it for years, as you guys have all recently seen. He is easy to bait because he is so extremely reactionary.
I've been entertaining you too much. Okay, I will keep that in my head. All right. I agree. But I do think we have to talk about certain things to determine whether it is genuine or whether it's done for an attack or drama. We have to talk about it.
Yes.
Though,
I agree.
Talk about it, dude. You do figure eights.
And I do agree the last stream we did probably hit many things that was just an attack, a lie, or intended to get a response, like drama-based trolling, right?
But he's going to go with anybody asking questions about this letter situation and being concerned about how QueenBee was actually mentioned in this letter that Uni kept lying about. They were all just trolling him, though. That was seeking drama. No, that was genuine concern because you lied about a letter. But he's constantly trying to make these escape routes filled with excuses. Lack of accountability at its finest.
So yeah, going forward, I will make sure, as I've done up to now, to talk to you guys, talk to everyone, try to get everybody's opinion before I roll in. Though, again, guys, there is no right way for me to handle it right now. When it comes to not you all, but the people that are angry about something.
No right way to handle it. Being truthful would have been a start.
You'd think after all these days, it'd be really obvious what people are mad about and what they're not. So that's not very obvious. And I've asked all of you, and you've all come back and said, I don't know.
The echo chamber was still very loud at this point.
If you have it, jump in and tell me, or send it into one of the mods, get it to Navy or Cherie or someone. Or
he was still out there living that rock star life and couldn't be bothered to respond to his own inbox. He still had people doing that for him. But now, friends, he can't even have sleepovers anymore. Things have gotten so serious with all of this situation. So just back off trying to reach out to him, okay? He can't personally meet somebody right now. And if you missed that, that was in the live react from the other day.
Frog or whoever. If you think you got the magical answer, we'd love to hear it. All right, I gotta go.
I know that some people around me had at length conversations with some of the Uni fan members and tried to help them understand everything that was going on around them and all of the different criticisms. And they attempted to gaslight those very people too when they were trying to help them understand and be very clear on what was happening. It's almost like they were ignored intentionally.
Stuff to do. We'll be back. Oh, the JLR thing, the letter. Yeah, this is not as easy as you'd think it is to handle this kind of thing. So, yeah.
But shit, we all heard you said this was no big deal. Your attorney was handling it all. Your attorney was handling a couple things for you at this point in time. No big deal, right? Notice he was so concerned about that letter all along, but barely even mentioned it. I think it would have been smarter to stop talking about the letter after his display on QueenBee's panel. But no, we couldn't expect Uni to stop talking about the letter. Just wait for it. There's more to come on that.
Is someone threatened that they were going to try and get the police reports and things like that through FOIA request. So I think it's pretty obvious why someone would do that. They're interested in doxing and they're interested in,
remember back to that clip of my stream I included right before we jumped to Uni stream? That might make sense now. But I'll let him finish before I go on to embarrass him some more.
Drama games, attacking, or something. So, of course, it puts another hurdle when you have to go through a lawyer to make sure that anything you file will have, identifiable information redacted to the public or redacted to anybody outside of the court. And that's one thing we're having to do. So it is throwing a wrench into things only to make it take longer, but we're getting there. So it's good. We'll have updates soon.
So he claimed that somebody was threatening to FOIA a police report and they were only interested in doxing and all of this other nonsense. He's also stating that he knows who it was that made these threats and that him and his attorney have to take extra steps to be safe with his private information and all of these things. Meanwhile, all that was said was the comment in my stream. That's what he took and made into this. So Briahana had wrote, and if there is a letter and there is a police report, there will also be a probation report and will also be a public record. And there will be a report number and it will be public and FOIA-able. That's all the original comment stated. But Uni took and twisted it into that. I was still live and they came back in and told me what he had attempted to do by twisting their own words. And I about fell over. I couldn't even believe it. But he stuck to this lie numerous times, which I'll jump to kick here shortly and show you some of that. So now you can see that as of May 2nd and 3rd, other creators had started to become very vocal. Subs had started talking about it very openly, and Uni wasn't able to get ahead of the criticism he had started to receive from multiple different angles. So it started off as a deflection in an attempt to destroy my credibility because he was able to individually target me out of all of the other creators because there wasn't anything really going on with anybody else at the moment, until he started lying repeatedly over this letter and involving other creators. And then when being questioned by people, he would become nasty and aggressive instead of answering simple questions. But let's go ahead and jump over to May 4th. So now we've gotten through May 3rd and we're going to hop right back into Down the Rabbit Hole News, Rabbit herself, and let us get a little bit more knowledge on what she was seeing happening at this point in time. And again, you can find the links for these creators in the description box below. I made sure I got all of them linked. So Rabbit actually became one of the more vocal creators addressing the questions and concerns around what Uni was doing in this part of the story. Again, I have to say a huge thank you to her because she was putting things into perspective that I couldn't even understand were happening. Thank goodness for an amazing group of creators that I luckily have been surrounded by, because all of us together were struggling to make this make sense. And we were all being blamed for having a hand in the downfall of Uni. Meanwhile, he was just lying the entire time. Just like before, I'm going to basically let Rabbit talk you through the next clip, but this video is from her channel from May 4th, 2023.
Where's the Unirock letter account? I know I saw it here somewhere. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. So let's get to the tea with this situation, right? Let me tell you, Lettergate. Yeah, let's get started. So shout out to QueenBee. I went onto her panel today and hit the link. I woke up with this idea and thought process behind this whole letter situation. Okay, let me give it to you this way. All right, you have a creator who is in, I don't know if he's necessarily true crime as much as I would say that he's in the shit. What would you say? I mean, I would say JLR is true crimey. She's true crimey. That's the word. But I don't know what sector is Unirock in. I'm serious. I don't know what. So let me get started. And that's no shade. I just don't know because he talks about little stories here and there, but he's in the sector of talking shit about people, I guess. I don't know. Drama. I don't know if he's he's a commentary. I'll say that. He's a commentary channel. Yes.
He's Mitch the bitch. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, JLR is JLR. So here, I'm about to make this argument. I heard that there's a second letter, yo. The grifter community, the true grimy community. Jesus Christ, you guys are a tough crowd.
Everyone was trying to get rid of him and pass him to the other community.
Y'all are a tough crowd. Yes. Oh, yes. Most definitely. Okay. So let me tell you, I went to the panel before I get to this second Dear John letter. Okay. And I had this thought, and I had talked to, shout out to Nonsense. I was like, I don't think she minds me saying that, I had this thought. I said, what's pretty fucked up is as much as I wouldn't necessarily defend the actions of JLR, right? We've talked about JLR. And the shit that he does, right? I don't think it's right to, like, three things. Either JLR sent the letter, right? Either a troll sent the letter, or someone's lying. 3, right?
Well, as you guys know, we didn't know at this time. It was just a simple cease and desist. But turns out number 1 and number 3 are both true. It was from JLR, but Uni was lying.
And why I think it's a big deal because sometimes it feels like in this community we're divided by two sections. We're divided by the sections that expose and call out the bad actors, okay, like JLR, MGL, Bullhorn Betty, everybody else, okay? So when those that call out the bad actors find themselves acting bad, or at least some of us notice that somebody's acting bad, what do?
Should be a standard of if you see something, say something.
JLR is supervised by the judicial system, right? My understanding is that he's being watched by the feds and whatever, based on the charges that he has. They're very, 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 very severe, right? He has a track record. He sued everybody and their mother. This is the kind of personality that he is, right? Just saying. So, if Unirock is lying, you realize that you're jeopardizing that man's judicial situation, right? As much as I would never defend his actions, you would have to realize that you've jeopardized. If it's a lie, you're jeopardizing him.
This is one of the pieces that still does not quite sit well with me at this point in time. And in no way, shape, or form am I defending JLR. But because of JLR's past, it's easy for a lot of people to overlook the seriousness of this situation that Uni continued to lie on. He encouraged people to call JLR's PO. He claimed he was filing for an RO and a police report because of how threatening and scary this was. And also including that JLR had mentioned a woman with children in this threatening letter. He didn't care at all whose safety he was putting at risk. But it says a whole lot when somebody is willing to come out and just blatantly lie on somebody and not give 2 cares what that person could end up in because of your lies. before anybody says JLR deserves whatever he gets from whatever. No, you still don't have to lie on the man. He does enough on his own. True wrongs will never make a right. We don't have to sink to their level in order to prove our points. And by lying on them makes us look just as bad as they do. And it takes our credibility completely to zero. That's why some of us still have our credibility and others don't. I was so thankful that Rabbit brought this up because this is a very important piece of the story that a lot of people overlook because of JLR's past. When in reality, we should have a no tolerance policy across the board. This is not okay. We don't need to lie on these people again. It is not acceptable. And to watch Uni and the people around him think that this was just fine because JLR has done horrible things in the past showed them to be the same exact as the people we call out.
So that's kind of what I thought. I said, damn, I don't like any of these people. I don't like any of these people. But I also don't think it's fair to put crimes on people that I don't necessarily like, right? And that's what I was conveying to QueenBee. I said, yeah, I would never, but what if this is a fake narrative and then people are calling us PO, let's just say, or people are really concerned about the situation and they call it's a troll or it's him, one or the other, right?
Sadly, many people were attempting to get a hold of his PO.
That could really fuck up somebody's supervision. So it's either, and this is what I said, well, what if they're trying to frame JLR too? As much as I don't see JLR as a victim of anything, please hear me. The hell has frozen over. The fact that I would even defend a JLR here, it's frozen, right?
When in reality, nobody was defending JLR. Being truthful wasn't defending JLR, and that's still the way it is today. Nobody has taken up for JLR in his actions, but the truth is the truth. But I agree with her. Hell had definitely froze over, and it still is.
A lot of Tiger, a lot of people didn't really think of that. So I said, well,
I was one of those people. I hadn't thought about that at all.
Unirock, you got to stop playing games with these people. You got to stop, like, even having you post on your community tab that there's a second letter, okay? It's really messed up because, first of all, we haven't seen the first, right? And we don't have to see the first. QueenBee, at the very least, is owed to see the first. QueenBee, who is mentioned, as well as whoever the true crimey community other people are. We really don't know.
And thankfully, we know there was no list, but at this time again, he had said all of these people were mentioned in a threatening letter. All just a part of his games, too.
Right? Exactly. So it's even more grimier to post on your community tab. Let me see what you said. Hold up. What do we say here? And I'm just going to pull it up from my phone because I'm not going over there to the community. I'm not subscribed to him, so I was told about it. But I do think that this is pretty shitty as well to post this, and yet you've left everybody on a cliffhanger. Here we go.
And yes, we know that a second letter did arrive. But at this point in time, we didn't even know what the first letter was. So people became extremely concerned when he once again did the vague posting and alluded to a second letter when nobody even knew what the contents of the first one were.
JLR sent number 2. Hash with the little #2 or hashtag, however you call it, number sign. I think that's what it's called too. But since creators will attack me for telling y'all more about it, I'll just not. Remember, doxing is okay to report on every other time, just not when it happens to me, Uni. P.S. to my peeps. Sorry, all I know is you support me, obviously, but I'm sure you understand. What? So there's a second letter? Right. Right now, my priority would not be to go to a community wall and tell people that there's a second letter. My priority would be, if I talk to an attorney yesterday, the day before, the day it happened, before I went live, however the hell this shit happened, grab the phone and say, hey, attorney, I just want to advise these people that they've been, mentioned in this letter. This man, JLR, has a criminal history. He's currently on probation for X, Y, and Z. If you Google search JLR's name, you will find his track record. Attorney, can I please inform so and so people that are in the letter for safety reasons? Of course, I will not. I will redact the information that needs to be redacted. I'm concerned. There is no threat, although my mother felt like she needed to load a gun, but there is no threat. However, my priority is their, QueenBee safety.
And what's crazy looking back at this, Uni still had no intention of being honest at this point. He vague posted on his community tab that he got a second letter, but he was still not even attempting to be honest about the first letter and clear up the confusion that surrounded the first one. And the story doesn't even get to the part where we find out it's a cease and desist until the 5th, the following day after this. Do you think Uni had any intention of ever being truthful about the letter?
But my question is why is only QueenBee owed to see the letter? Shouldn't all creators mention it, whether they are likable or not, be given a fair treat? I don't disagree with you, Poison Heart. I mean, I think for the sake of him not wanting to share the information with everybody, then share it with QueenBee. But I think you're absolutely right, because he brought it publicly.
Thankfully, there was no list of creators.
So this is becoming a big deal. This is somebody's safety. QueenBee has children. She has, people around you. So it's very concerning. It's concerning both ways. Here's the guy who delivered the letter. Lord have mercy, yo. That's the guy that delivered the letter, yo.
Return to sender. Address unknown.
And now I have more questions, because he's absolutely right. Even if, and this is true, even if he does show a letter, I do want to see a postmark, post dated, dates, receipts of that, all of that. Okay, I do, because I'm very much concerned about the truth.
And Uni still has refused to be honest with anyone.
Now, the cynical part of me is telling me that this is just a build-up to have a bigger life. Can't talk about the first letter. Now we have a second letter, but since I can't talk about it, that needs to be an emoji. Show me the Carfax. I love that. Build up an audience. I can't talk about the first letter anymore. I can't give misinformation anymore. So let me talk about the second letter that y'all ain't gonna see, because these content creators are bashing me. No one is I don't think anybody is bashing him.
At one point in time, Uni said that criticism was not an attack, but he quickly forgot those were his own words.
We have questions. And even shout out to Cap, Miss Cappy, who was in QueenBee's panel. Her tone wasn't loud. She wasn't high pitched. She just wanted to know about, giving him some feedback about the clickbait titles, which is accurate.
He definitely is a clickbait master.
It's my understanding that a lot of the responses that he's doing are now going to Kick.
Speaking of Kick, I went and grabbed a couple gems.
One thing I'm not going to do is promote another platform that A, I'm not even on, and B, for why. You owe an explanation to the people here on YouTube, the place where you release this information. At this point, I don't believe nothing. Nothing. Because you've lied on me and you've lied on other creators. I don't believe nothing. That's how I see it.
And that's part of the art of confusion. He absolutely started using multiple platforms and spinning different stories on each platform and expecting people to follow him around and keep up on his lies. Well, unfortunately for him, I got enough of it from all platforms to give you an example and an overlook of exactly how it was going on all platforms. And by the way, I still don't even have a Kick account myself, because you can lurk without having an account. It's kind of handy in situations like this.
Okay? That's how I see it. So, hold up. These comments are going fast. We have a first letter, and we can't talk about the second letter because of first letter. So let's just call it a wash and talk about both. LOL. Don't they cancel each other? Kim's like, listen, Kim, you know more than me. I mean, I just listen. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting.
We might need a whiteboard to explain all of this.
The details of all these letters, the details, it's all about the details. And it's just, the details aren't detailing. Is that a word? These details aren't detailing. That's what it is. What's up with the liars the last 7 days, making community against tragedy pimps look bad? That's what I'm saying, Commander. That's the thing. It's like, you do realize that if this is a lie, you're jeopardizing this man's, like, this man could get in trouble. He's already on supervision, you know? He already does a lot of stupid shit online, but this man's in trouble. Like, why would you put that out there? And the thing is why put it out there like that and then tag QueenBee for content? I guess I'm just confused.
Nunya's in charge of the whiteboard lessons, not me.
Very like, I don't know what disappoints me more because I kind of expected this. But I also think that I had higher expectations, even though I shouldn't, because you promote yourself to be, and you're talking about these people that are in the mess. So if the shoe fits, you really can't wear it. I mean, because you're no different. The way I see it, it's like, this is a Molly move.
At this point, his fingerless gloves don't even fit.
Molly, when she talked about certain things in the receipts and she was questioned, she just ignored it. You just pulled a Molly move. That's what you just did. And it makes me wonder, what's tea with that? I don't put anything past anybody at this point. That's just being honest.
Some of us don't even trust our shadows anymore.
But here's the thing, Becca. He went down there to see the letter. Didn't think to take a picture of it, but he went down there to see the letter. That's what he said.
He took a picture. It's just invisible. That's what it was.
Okay? His words, not mine. I guess he just wants to get followers over there. I think he's trying. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
Uni has a tendency of playing the victim.
Why? What is the point of all this? That's what I want to know. I'm about to Cardi B the situation here pretty soon.
Rabbit did so good holding it together because the chat was on fire.
Yes, don't forget Twitter Spaces. Yeah, you go all over the place. I ain't promoting your Twitter Spaces or your kicks or your whatever. We're not doing that over here. I don't know.
Going on a trip to our favorite rocket ship.
I'll take us on a short detour here soon.
Comments up here just for a little bit. And I know it bugs some of you guys, so I'm not going to keep it here for too long. But you know what's so interesting? The people, his supporters are telling him, dude, just shut everybody up and tell them what's up. Just shut people up. I think his supporters are also tired with it. You know, if anything, maybe you owe something to your supporters. And I'm not saying to us, but maybe connect with QueenBee so that way she's aware of what's tea. Forget about all of us. You know, we're just regular schmegular whatever folks over here. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it might be wise to connect with QueenBee and see if you can give her some thought about that.
You would have thought that would have made sense to him, but it didn't.
I hate mail. I don't receive mail. But then you have to kind of keep in mind too, just a thought. With this man, JLR, who's, and I'm pointing at my title, who is under supervision, however many years he's, you know, been around, incarcerated, under supervision, would he risk his probation, his time? Because I believe he's supposed to be released in September. To send a letter to Uni's mom, who is not a creator? Why? You do have to kind of wonder, like, why you?
And what's crazy is Uni used those other creators who had covered JLR as the basis of his content to begin with.
There's so many other creators that have been on his ass. Why you? Who else? Burnt Toast has done content on him. He's been on his ass pretty good. I don't think Ellie, you're right, Ellie. I don't think he would risk that. I don't. Heels, been on that ass. Queen, been on that ass. Why you?
She just listed a bunch of great creators who have covered JLR.
I'm having a hard time believing it. Yeah, Becca, he demands receipts from her. Thinks he does not have to show this. Well, he demanded receipts from the whole Letitia fraud raiser. Isn't it what you're doing? Show us you siphon the accounts. What the hell? What are you talking about? I heard he had a little response from me, and I'm gonna wait on this one because let me tell you something. There's a couple people you defamed here on these fraud busting things, and this is risky, believe it or not. So we're gonna wait on that. And
well, let's just go ahead and take a look and see what Uni had to say about Rabbit during his kick stream. I figured I would roll that beautiful bean footage. Once again, huge shout out to Down the Rabbit Hole News. Rabbit did some amazing coverage on this story as it was first kicking off. And there are more pieces that I encourage you guys to go watch if you missed certain sections, because she really dug in and found some pieces that most of us were completely unaware of. If you haven't gone and checked out all of those videos, I encourage you to do so. But let's go ahead and take a look at Uni's kick from May 4th. He had a lot to say.
Sub canceled my membership to several channels. I'm disgusted and done. I'm with you, Tim's mom. I'm with you. I wouldn't show them. Oh, I would show them and tell them to fuck off. Haley says, keep what's going on in private. It's not up to me, y'all. It's not up to you. It's not up to me. I'm going to keep my damn word. Fine, I'll just give you the update. My attorney wasn't in.
But he claimed he talked to his attorney before he ever went live. I'm confused.
Twice now. Nothing I can do till I see her. She will tell me what to do. That's it. Now, what I am going to tell her are all these people's threats.
What threats, Uni? What threats were those?
I'm going to tell her everything that happened, because I got it all. I ain't dumb. We archive. We save things. That's what we do. That's all we do. We don't give a shit about anything but what you publicly post.
He's awfully arrogant for being as ignorant as he is.
All we need. It's all we'll ever need. What you publicly put out. Because we make arguments and give opinions based on what you choose to put out. Because we're good at it. That's all we need. We don't
Uni, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're not good at this.
need anything else. Keep a log time, date, and event. Oh, that's what my lawyer does. See, that's the beautiful thing about it. I don't have to do anything. When you pay a lawyer, and this is why in the past you guys have heard me when other people have been doxxed or anything like that, right? Let me move myself down just a little bit, just to help you guys see the game a little better. There we go. Listen to me. What has been my advice? Every single time someone has gone through what I just went through. These two events with the PayPal shit and the letter.
What he just went through? You mean what you caused?
I told them to get a lawyer and let your lawyer do everything. And I said the beauty of a lawyer, by the way, you can go actually hear me say this many times. The beauty of the lawyer is that they do everything. That's what they're paid for, to do everything. You get to just breathe. You get to just relax. You get to know that you have, that there is a human being whose job it is to follow the law, do the right thing, and have your back.
For as skilled as you are at documenting everything, even your attorney's response was pretty lacking, in other words.
Right? And this is why I told Letitia to get a lawyer. I told Molly, get a lawyer. I tell Nonsense, get a lawyer. Everyone who had an issue, I said, get a lawyer.
Meanwhile, he just finally retained one himself.
I don't have to get a lawyer. I have a fucking lawyer. She's a busy lady. I was going to do the police report first, but then people started threatening that they were going to try to grab the private info off of that report.
Which, as you guys have already seen, there was absolutely no threat made about grabbing any private info.
So, we're going to go to the lawyer and have her file everything with us and file proper paperwork to restrict our private information to not be doxxed from anyone that tries to get the report. I'll give the Here's the thing. I told people, by the way, I'm not shit-talking anybody. I haven't shit-talked anybody at all. So if anyone says that, they lying. You can go look at everything I've said. It's all there.
Well, Uni, thankfully for you, we've done just that. We've gone back and looked at your exact words. And I hate to break it to you once again, but you sure as hell are lying about a lot. And about that shit talking, you sure tried it with me. Didn't get you far. And you tried it with many other creators before and after me too. But they don't have to take my word for it. I'll provide examples of it.
I've not been mean, not shit talk, not shit stirred, not drama stirred, nothing. But I have tried to keep you guys updated. And because people are threatening this shit, where was I? Because I lost track. I'm just making sure that everything is properly done, right?
And he still didn't have the balls to tell everybody the truth that it was just a simple cease and desist.
Nobody demanded that Nonsense prove the CPS thing. By the way, why did she accuse someone of doing it other than Molly? I forget. Why did she? Anyway.
Because there was no proof that Molly was the one who made the call, you freaking idiot. But again, I'm not the one that made my real life situations into content over and over again. You're the one that did that.
No, I'll never stoop to their level. I don't understand why they need a FOIA. That's the thing. When they say they're going to try to FOIA the police report, but they don't need a FOIA because I offered to give it out. Censor it, give it out.
Once again, you can watch him setting up a blatant lie because he knew that there was no chance he was going to be filing a police report on a cease and desist. Absolutely unnecessary. So he is setting up complete blatant lies, trying to push things on other people because he has fabricated an entire story around this letter.
Because people have threatened FOIA it, I have to now have my lawyer make sure that none of my super private information is on that thing.
He must be talking about like super private info of how many stairs there are to the basement that he lives in or something.
So anyone that threatened to FOIA is basically just threatening to dox. That's what they're doing. They don't need a FOIA. The FOIA, whoever admitted that, by the way, I know who did. Whoever admitted that is threatening to dox, is what they're doing.
Complete baseless lies.
Oh, I'm protecting my info above anything else. Sorry, so.
Protecting his super private info, meanwhile putting his mom and dad in the middle of all this BS.
By the way, I've come up with the fairest response. I will do what they ask me as long as whoever else their request applies to based on what happened also is asked to do the same thing. And if it happened to them before me, I better see these people doing this stuff to them then coming to me, because they have to start at the beginning. You don't just start here at me. It's not like you're just trying to dox and lie and target me and shit, right? Okay, good. So you're going to go to whoever it was who also had similar things happen, and you're going to ask them for the exact same things you're asking me before you even come to me. Well, good, because they got about 3 people to go through before they're even going to get to me, so I got plenty of time.
He gets so excited thinking that he's onto something here. Meanwhile, the rest of us that have been doxxed and targeted by these people, it was all done extremely publicly. All the proof was provided by the people that were doing it. They didn't even attempt to hide it. They were very out front with it. But Uni is trying to encourage people that we should have to show proof of these things that have happened to us, that Uni himself made content on happening to all of us. So, Uni, is the content that you made around what happened to every one of us creators by these people false? Or are we lying all of a sudden? Because it seems like you took the proof that you found publicly that was done to us and used it for content. So shouldn't you be able to answer those questions on your own? I mean, I would think it would be pretty easy, shouldn't it be? Nothing but a distraction and an attempt to manipulate people into believing his lies. Another one of the look over there, not over here type situations he likes to use.
I got plenty of time. Son of a bitch, is that a regular shotgun? That looks cool. Oh, shit, no. Yay! You burned him alive, bro. He was your friend. Oh, you remind me of some people. Y'all remind me of some people, y'all. You guys remind me of some people. Y'all sitting there burning from the live like, whoa! Oh my god, what the fuck is this? What is this? An automatic shotgun? Where did this come from? I've never seen this before. What is going on? An auto shotty? In Doom? I didn't think they had this thing. I remember double barrel. Yes.
Uni, I'm confused what was going on here too, but it kind of seems to me like we are watching in real time somebody lose their marbles.
Uni, I'm not interested in anything other than making sure you're aware of what was publicly stated, especially since things have been topsy-turvy the past few days. If you know, I'll show myself the door. No, I don't know. I responded on my channel to what I know is publicly stated and a little bit of what I said just now, but you're going to have to type it in. By the way, if somebody states something about somebody else, remember what we do, right? Before y'all believe some shit, you got to have a clip, you got to have some facts or something. So, yeah, people stating things, fine. That's called a claim. But let's go back to Molly. Claims made, videos played. What did Molly say? We show it. So let me know, please.
See, Uni, you get this concept. You made claims that JLR sent you a handwritten letter that was threatening and involved a list of creators, especially QueenBee. Yet when you were asked to show the proof of this letter, you hemmed and hawed and made every excuse under the sun. So you shouldn't have a problem being able to show this letter and be truthful about it. I don't know how you missed the memo.
I sent the clips live. Rabbit said that she feels that if Letitia did go and sue you for defamation, that Letitia would have a credible case. Well, I don't know why Rabbit would say that. I have put all the evidence out on my channel, so you would think...
And he's right back to using the word evidence.
You would watch the evidence first. I've already responded. I've already done a complete video, and I'll respond right now. You can ask me any question you want, as long as you're not wanting, like, private information or something, and I'll answer it. That's why I'm here, so thank you for coming here. No, I did not defame Letitia. Rabbit must not have seen the clips, the specific clips that show that Letitia siphoned the money into her own bank account. Now, guess what else?
No one's seen those clips, Uni, because nobody knows where all of the money went. It went to many different hands from the jump. So then again, you can't even be factual on that statement because we don't know where all of the money went. It went to many different people. There were so many people with hands in that cookie jar.
Letitia did. Letitia, later on, after she ran off, decided Molly could have 2 of their friends look at Marvon's money accounts. So the accounts that people sent money to before the money was siphoned into Letitia's personal bank account.
If anybody thinks that anybody trusted those weirdos who weren't even a part of the foundation and are like the 10th advocates to even be involved in this, but they were the trusted ones that got all this information, you have lost your marbles just like Uni. Crazy how they have no problems fabricating information, and they
That's what I'm
never
saying.
have.
Now they're going back a fraud raiser and suggesting that she sues you. Wow. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Because she can't sue me. I didn't defame her. Nice try. Threatening lawsuits, by the way, is harassment. Threatening them if you don't mean it. Chris?
Does that mean like your lawsuit that you threatened against Laura and Molly?
So we know we're ignoring her drama. What did Chris say? I'm not ignoring anybody, by the way. I'm just talking, and when I'm talking, I can't look at the chat. I have to talk. I'm sorry. Hold on. I want to respond to everybody, so hold on. Okay, hold on. Rabbit said she feels if Letitia goes to sue you for defamation, she would have a credible case. Rabbit lied on me. Why didn't Rabbit watch my video before deciding something like that?
Why don't you, instead of saying Rabbit lied on you, which she never did, why don't you go over and watch what Rabbit actually said before getting gaslit by your chat and going off on something that you don't even know if it's factual or not? And what she did say absolutely has truth to it.
And when did Rabbit say this? Did she say this before everybody started jumping on me, or did she say it after? Because that makes a big difference. Okay? Just letting you know. What did Uni say that was different than what anyone else said about Letitia? Literally nothing. I don't know how.
She'd been saying it all along. That's why she didn't cover certain pieces of it or pick up on your things like calling it a fraud raiser. Again, your words, nobody else's. But that's why people didn't jump on to what you had been saying. That's why everything was reported so differently, because you inflated and exaggerated stuff.
I know there's like 5 people that defend Letitia. Everyone else in the world agrees that Letitia stole the money. You can't use a man in a coma to raise a bunch of money so that you can try to sue and get custody of him and his son because they're with a horrible woman, and then run a defamation campaign against Dre for all that time. Why did they run the defamation campaign? It's for the fundraiser. Why? Why defame Dre?
Actually, to be factual on that, no, they weren't the only ones, because a lot of us had the story wrong from the jump. And a lot of us made mistakes. Some of us corrected them. Others of us just moved on like nothing ever happened. But then attempted to use faith manipulation when trying to get an interview and get what we want out of Dre too. I mean, you want to tell us about that, Uni? But see, if you did your own research, you would actually know these things instead of just banking off of what other people have said and you inflated.
They were the only ones doing it. They were the ones that were the source of attacking a woman who literally did nothing but experience her husband succumb to a mental health disorder, which happens between 20 and 40 times per day. A veteran, not a human being. The human being number is much higher. Veterans in the United States is between like 19 and 40 suicides a day. You'd have to go check that number, but I'm pretty damn close, I know. I'm calling off of memory from like months ago, but I'm pretty close.
On average, unfortunately, we lose around 22 service members a day. It's also a good reminder of why we don't fabricate things, because the story is a very serious one.
I mean, if I was to go and pick any of those people, attack their husband or the remaining husband and wife or whatever of the people that commit the veterans that commit suicide, and then do a fucking fundraiser so that I could help their remaining family with something, and then keep the money, that you can go to jail for that. You can't go to jail for calling it a scam. You can't be sued for calling it a scam. It must be false. Defamation can't be true.
Uni, I think you need an upgraded dictionary.
It can't. So Rabbit would have to, I would think, not Rabbit, anybody, because you're bringing up Rabbit, not me. So, I'm just reading what you said. I'm going to respond as if anyone said this, but.
You're bringing this up, not me. So again, acknowledging you don't even know what was factually said, but you're going to run with it and just make your little crybaby hissy fit. Uni, learn how to do your own research. It would be very helpful for you.
Anyone that says that Letitia did not do a fraud raiser, did not take the money, didn't steal the money, either is being dishonest for some reason. I don't know if it's because they like Letitia or something, or, as we all know, they haven't seen the videos of what happened. I can lead a skeptic to the truth, but I can't make them think.
Uni, you claim that you can lead a skeptic to the truth. You can't even find the truth on your own with a magnifying glass. Come on now.
Not my job. I don't care if people do not want to admit the truth, okay? I don't care. They can disagree with me on Letitia fraud raiser if they want, but I'm serial here. You can't then claim certain things that not Rabbit, but certain people claim about themselves while defending it, right?
Kind of like you can't claim to provide facts, meanwhile doubling down and tripling down about all the lies that you've been telling.
Now they're going to back a fraud raiser and suggest she sues you. Wow. Well, you know what? She's not. What do we know about what Letitia does? Letitia go to lawyers and pay them when fundraisers happen? Nope.
I'm so sick of hearing you say the word lawyer. It's ridiculous.
She can sue me if she wants. I have a lawyer, but I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to countersue anyone that sues me for the time that's wasted, for the lies they're telling on me, for the defamation. That's what I'll do. I will countersue.
I hope you started making your list of all the people that you're going to countersue over telling the truth about what you have done in the last couple of months because, well, it's looking pretty bleak for you.
Just so you know, that's my response. So if anyone wants a response to people that are saying this, by the way, again, anything these people are saying after they all like got mad and started attacking me, I don't believe it.
Well, factually, we had all started criticizing you way before this.
I believe it if they said it before, like, I don't know, a week ago when all this drama started. If it was said before that, I'd believe it was real. If it was said after that, it's just them lying and bullshitting and jumping on a bandwagon of coming at me. Please, if you are that kind of person, do it.
There was no bandwagon, Uni. You're just getting called out for your own behavior.
Again, this is the story, guys. You're not, some of my followers, while they're not leaving or mad at me, they don't understand that this is just part of the story. And I warned everybody that this would happen from the beginning.
I'm sure you didn't warn everybody that you were going to make up some egregious lies that were going to end up canceling you off the internet, basically, and burning your own channel to the ground. I bet you didn't warn them of that, did you? And to think all of this was over a couple videos that all you had to do was remove.
And yes, it's recorded. You can't say that I didn't warn everybody the whole time that after she's banned, the community will start to attack each other. Now, I was kind of wrong because I said, this community's cool. I don't think that many people will attack anyone.
Criticism is not an attack, Uni.
I was wrong. The majority of them are in for not the truth, not to make awareness, not for, not to, oh shit. What do they say? They say that, is Menace in here?
We're the ones that aren't trying to bring awareness and doing all these sideline games like lying about a simple cease and desist and making it into a threatening letter that other creators were mentioned. We're the ones that are screwed up in our priorities of how we deliver content and factual content. Gotcha, Uni. And to think the echo chamber backed all of this BS.
Menace! No, I'm not talking about anything, Lauren. I'm just responding only to the stuff that people are asking me. That's all I'm doing. So hold on, I want to see what Menace is saying. Sorry, my chat must have locked up, y'all. I thought I only had like 20 people watching. Menace says the true crime community has a history of going after each other. When they're on the same page, it's a super tight community. However, it does fall apart quite often with infighting, and that's why I just dipped. I just said, well, fuck y'all then. You can attack me the rest of your lives. I'm done with you if you're going to lie on me.
The only reason you dipped is because you got caught and you had to run with your tail tucked between your legs. That's it. That's all.
So that's what they're doing. Lying on me. They think if they lie on each other, it will give them, and no, I'm not talking about nonsense now, I'm talking about what's going on. So no, guys, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Frankly, nobody cares who you're talking about anymore.
So they think if they, for some reason, that they have to earn subs by saying things about other creators. You only do that if you show the truth. Because the people that you're talking to are going to go watch the person who you're talking about.
No, that's not how this works. It's actually when somebody's pulling fuck shit games for no reason and involving other people, that's why they get called out and questioned, not just to talk shit about other creators, dumbass. If I wanted drama, I would have gone about this totally different.
They're going to go see, what do you told me he does all this? Oh my God, I got to go see this. And that's fine with me because what does it do? Lead people to my content. Now, when you watch my content, what do you see?
An insecure little man that likes to lie a lot. That's what I see.
Please tell me in the chat. That's what I want to know. And I'm going to go back to playing my video game.
It's probably good that you stick to what you know and what you claim to be good at. But let's go ahead and just jump right back into May 5th. This time we are going to be taking a look at QueenBee's from May 5th. Once again, I'm going to not really stop and pause a whole lot through this because I want you to get the full context of the situation and the discussion that was going on previous to us learning that this letter was only a cease and desist.
Rabbit's calling it after that panel earlier. Lettergate. As far as Lettergate, I got an email that said, so the first one I got was yesterday. I told you guys that. Hey, Queen, I talked to my mom. I will see her tomorrow and we'll contact you after. That was yesterday. Okay. I said, okay, cool. Thanks for reaching out. He says, hey, Queen, I want to make sure you are updated. My attorney wasn't in the office today, so I will try again to get a hold of her. And as soon as I talk to her, I will keep you updated. Thanks.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Right.
Okay.
Somebody said he's doing all this because he wants to prove he doesn't live with his mother. What? All this is to say that.
Oh, that would be a funny turn of events.
Yeah, I thought he had a. I mean, like I thought he
really hope so.
I really hope so too.
Just to clarify a piece in part 7, so I guess Uni had reached out and emailed her but in the emails, he never confirmed or told her what the letter supposedly stated. So she didn't get factual information. He was just emailing her to appease her, but still not providing any facts. Because as of May 9th, we saw a clip from his own mouth that he hadn't connected with her. He was really bothered by people pointing out the fact that he possibly lives in his mom's basement, which, again, nobody really cared about. But he got so triggered over that it made an entire sideline of events. But I don't think any of us are 100% sure on how Unilogic got him to this point.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. But when you hear him, when you listen to him, he's like, I've got to go all the way to my mom's house.
Yeah. And then why did you take a picture while you were there? I don't,
Yeah.
this story is getting like, he
It's so
actually
far
talked
away.
about it today. I was listening to nonsense and somebody like was like, oh, he talks about it for a little bit today and it got even more convoluted. It's just,
Well, look, with the price of gas right now, who the fuck drives to look at a letter?
a letter, not me.
It doesn't even take a picture while they're there.
Mom, and his brother's around, so there's no like excuse. Like my mom doesn't have like a phone to do it. Or
How old is his mom?
The crazy part about all of that was he had the letter all along, from the sounds of it, all along.
Yeah, what'd she say? What happened?
She
But
said
he
would
also
give you
said that someone FOIA'd the report from the police.
or he was afraid that somebody was going to FOIA it. Like you have to
No,
listen
he
to
said
his.
they did, I thought. Because
But he didn't even go to the police yet, though.
And again, if you missed that part, we went over the whole FOIA incident and how he twisted that narrative earlier in this stream. Kind of hard to FOIA something that didn't even exist, though, there, Uni.
Please, what the fuck is their point?
How would you
Oh,
know?
somebody tried to FOIA it before.
Yeah,
even.
the police
Okay.
report.
There's
And
not even
that's-
a report.
I know.
Yeah.
And no one would call him and tell him anyway.
And
But
that's
the police
why
aren't
he's
gonna call.
taking more precautions with his lawyer, and that's why we're never going to see the letter. You know, because it's like,
Oh,
you
no,
know,
it's gonna end up-
Bullshit.
yeah, no, something is.
And that is the lovely that girl that I agree with 100%. Complete and utter bullshit. He was grabbing onto comments like that, trying to find his next excuse for why he couldn't produce this letter. He had no intent on ever showing the letter.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
Friday.
so
It's going to
that's
be a
related.
week, almost like a week. I mean, I'm sorry, like that
I'm
letter.
gonna say,
Is,
I pray he shows that letter. I pray.
yeah, that letter's
Roses are
nice.
red, violets are blue. There is no letter. You are full of poo.
Yes.
And it turned out there was a letter, but it was just a cease and desist.
Briahana25 says, I believe I've been misquoted live from a chat to a live stream in real time, so I'm spreading my enormous joy around, laughing emoji, or
I saw this girl in someone
FOIA
else's
girl
chat.
here.
Yeah, I saw her
FOIA
in
girl.
nonsense's chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, once again, the Islanders are responsible for another fabricated story that Uni told.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's.
She says FOIA girl here, FOIA. See that? FOIA girl here.
Oh, she must have talked some shit.
I mean,
One simple factual comment from her and sent him into spin mode.
like, realistically, I mean, I just don't understand, like, why. Just doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense. I know Tim, it doesn't.
No, there should have been a picture taken like ASAP. Just
Like, I did a.
I think we can all agree there was no need for any of this.
You can't make these excuses in today's day and age with technology and phones, and it's so easy to have like a picture of that thing. And of course, like he would have had it. It's like almost a week ago. And if there was people that were threatened, God forbid, then those people should know and like know that there's a threat, right? I mean,
Well, you know, the whole problem with that, Ellie, is it's bullshit.
I know. I'm just playing both
I mean, I
ends of the
hope it's
coin.
not.
This is where I get in trouble because I forget we're on a panel with.
I think there's a chance of the letter,
on the phone.
but I think there's a very big chance that there's nobody else mentioned in that letter.
Yeah, that's why I think the letter is real. I think, like, but I just think, like,
You think it's real?
probably
think
it's
it's
been it's been exaggerated. Like Queen's. I don't think Queen's name's even mentioned in the letter. I think.
Oh, he said there were like a bunch.
Oh,
His
a bunch
words
of-
were a bunch of others were in it. A
Yeah.
bunch.
Did you see his community post? It says that Queen was mentioned in the letter.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but that's why probably. I mean, like, listen.
His own words you don't
Uh,
believe now, so how do you believe any of it if you don't believe his own words?
Yeah.
The letter.
And as much as Uni likes to try and blame this on his mom being confused, no, Uni knew exactly what this was, that her name was only mentioned in the title of a video, right from the beginning.
Try to.
In his mind.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope he's. I mean, like, but the truth of the matter is that, like, if he was let's say, like, Queen was in the position where she got a letter that had Uni, and she said, "Oh, the letter said something weird, and your name's in it, and discusses you," and like Queen's like, "Oh, I didn't make a copy, nor am I going to give you any sort of clue what the letter says about you or anything," and he'd be pissed off. Like,
You should not go live. You should not go live until you speak with that person that supposedly is in that letter. In the
You
story.
know, how about not going live without proof? I mean, this is just me, but I think that if JRLO was going to send him something like that it wouldn't be mentioning QueenBee and shit.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I think it's a subgraph.
Well, I think even like
Uni might have gotten over on a lot of us, but there's still a large amount of people that knew exactly who he was and expected this very behavior from him because they've seen it in the past.
even if it did mention me, I have a hard time believing that it mentioned Molly and Betty because JLR is best friends with both of them, and there's no way he's gonna just put them out there like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He fucked with both of them. Like Betty said, JLR is like my brother. So I really highly doubt he wrote a letter and was like, "Oh, let me throw Betty and Molly under the fucking bus."
Exactly. That doesn't make sense to me. That
Well,
he didn't really throw them under the bus in the actual letter, but he did kind of attempt to separate himself from them, which I found hysterical.
Say the context that they're in it either, though. Molly and Betty, right?
Well, you know, RL's going to use this as a chance to plug his fucking book.
Maybe it was something like, this is just me, like, maybe it was like, BHB, JR speaking of himself and saying BHB, MGO, and you're all, or, saying X, Y, and Z. That's the only thing I think how it could be in there, because there's no way it would be in there.
He said it was a list at the end of the letter. That was the
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
That was a list of people at the end of the letter.
He mentioned numerous times that there was a list of creators.
And it was Molly, Betty, and QueenBee. And then now there were a bunch of other people.
You guys, the Good Nunya.
Yeah.
Read that. Went to Mom's house Monday. She took it to the police, but gave it to the attorney. He was listening to his attorney because he spoke to her and after the police say it's okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, that's pretty much what. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the best synopsis I've heard.
Yeah, now it hasn't.
All over a fucking letter that really doesn't even mean a whole lot of shit. It's not like it says on there like, "Hey," or it's sending death threats or something. It's not like that.
No, he said it was very threatening.
He did?
Yes.
To him, yeah, it's very threatening to him, right? Is that what it was?
Just very threatening. He said, I don't know if he said to him.
It started off as pure harassment on top of extremely threatening. I'm going to skip some of the upcoming sections. If you want to watch this full video, go over to QueenBee's. It will also be linked in the description box of the video.
Listed names of YouTubers. I guess you could call them YouTubers. Betty was mentioned, Bullhorn Betty. Molly was mentioned, Molly Golightly. There were names there that I don't even know what the hell it was. Like I'm sitting there listening to, because I haven't picked up this letter and looked at it because I don't live there. I'm not there. But
Heels always gets me with the
thinks that he is going to dox me.
Well, at least there he says thanks. He doesn't keep saying he did, because at this point we know he did not dox him. But then again, Uni thinks it's a dox when really it's not. So I guess I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's a hard dox, QueenBee.
Yeah, he got a letter from someone, basically. Well, I mean, if there's a threat, then it's
Oh, did you just see the chat? Did you just see what they said in the
No,
chat?
I didn't.
And now he's
No.
trying to say it's you, that you sent the letter pretending to be JLR.
Oh my god.
Wait, I have an update.
I've been sending.
Ooh, Nunya's
letters.
here.
Oh,
An update.
Nunya's here with the breaking news. Breaking
So-
news.
This is a breaking news segment. Nunya has entered the panel, and she will be giving a once-over of what this letter actually was. This is the moment we all found out that this was just a cease and desist.
To be fair, I'm not a fan of EKC, but EKC emailed JLR, I don't know, on the About Page or website or whatever.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, we were
And
talking
his
about that. Right?
representative emailed back explaining
Which is
what the
JLR.
letter was.
Right, which is JLR.
Well, it was signed by somebody else. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it did explain that there was a letter sent, and it was sent because of claims that Uni had made on his page about JLR. And it was sent to multiple addresses. So the first one went to the mom's house, apparently. And the second one, I guess, is the second letter that he received. The reason why QueenBee's name was mentioned is because it was a notice of retraction and a cease and desist. And the live that they wanted that statement retracted from has your name in the title.
Oh my god.
Nick's expression said it all. That's what we all felt.
So my original thought that there was a letter, but he just basically, there was like Queen wasn't really mentioned in it.
Who sent
Okay.
this?
Right, who the fuck sent this?
I'm
Where did
so
this come from?
confused.
I'm gonna need EKC to come over here and tell us, because
Yeah.
Well, she's live right now, so I don't want to, but she did show
Okay,
the
when
letter.
she's done live, or will you email me her email address and I will email her myself and ask her to come on over here and explain this bullshit, where she got this letter from and what this rep's name is. I'm gonna need this rep's name.
Yeah, I don't have her email, but it may be in her about section. I'm not sure.
And I'm not even sure I believe this bullshit, because why in the fuck are we
It's
just
like
she showed the
Hang
letter.
on a second, guys. Hang on.
and been made into content once the fuck again?
Hold on,
So
hold on.
Hold on, because this
What?
does sound like the same pattern that he used to Crude AF, where they sent to his mother, his stepmother,
Right.
his grandmother, his aunts.
but that's the
You
same
know.
shit you guys said to me too, and that's not how he did. That's not how they did. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
What if he doesn't have a rep? What is he talking?
What fucking rep? That's what I said. I need a fucking copy of this, because he has no fucking rep. There is no rep. I don't
Maybe
understand.
is there somebody involved with him? Maybe Magnolia or something like that.
There's a woman that has been like, she does a lot on social media for him. I don't
Maybe
know her.
that's who responded. I don't know the person's name. I don't know anything about him really.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah,
was it
see,
just
that's
a
what I'm saying.
name?
I need to see this fucking retract or whatever the fuck it is she's got.
And why would he say
I just have to interject that I will give EKC credit for reaching out and getting a copy of this letter from JLR's camp. But I just have to remind everybody that everything she does is motivated by her hatred of people over drama on the internet. She wasn't concerned about the safety of anybody mentioned or that Uni was claiming was mentioned in this said letter. She was concerned about making Uni look like the fool he is, which again, can't blame her. They have personal history from years ago. But I'm going to call a spade what it is. She also had no problem with her and her little buddies that she totes around, claiming they're so factual, calling coroners and medical offices and recording phone calls and releasing them on a man's potential life and death situation.
Nobody sent anybody a letter.
Did she show it on the screen?
She did show the letter fully on the screen, and it is redacted, so it'll have like, instead of saying Unirock, it just has like Uni
Jason or whatever.
and,
okay.
And his name redacted out. So it is redacted, so there's nothing, to be done.
Can you go screenshot it and send it to me, please?
Yeah,
what?
I will.
Okay,
I'll be
can
back.
I ask her? Okay. Was it typed?
Yeah, it was typed. Wait.
The email and the letter.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, it was typed. And also it had links. One of them was trigger warning, JLR Jonathan Lee Richards covers confronted target, and it has links to multiple videos on it. So basically, I mean, I could read it, but like,
can you send it to me though, please?
I'm not going to take a screenshot.
Yeah, I'm on my computer. I don't know how to do a screenshot.
You know how to do a screenshot? Okay.
On the computer, on my phone. I can't.
Where'd you get it? You got it from her live, so I can go screenshot it then?
Yeah, it's from her live. She actually shares screens and shows actually.
Well, that's why I wanted to know if
I'm trying to screenshot it right now. It's on her like live that she's, and I'm trying to take screenshots, but it's only on her. She has it on a screen that's above
it's
her
like
head.
super tiny and shit. That's the thing. It's like it's fucking.
You can hardly see it. I mean, I try to like blow it up a little, and it's hard to see.
And once again, a lot of us were concerned about the safety of these people that were supposedly mentioned. And instead of reaching out to Queen and letting Queen know, hey, you weren't even mentioned in this, she made it into content before. And I'm sorry, I also can't overlook her connection to Molly and Molly's connection to JLR.
So basically, it's a big old fucking nothing burger.
I mean, it could be anything
that he don't really have. Okay.
Even if that was a season of this, right? That means that he was still manipulating what kind of he was still manipulating what kind of letter it really was.
The first letter then might have been like the season might have, I don't know.
Shambles is definitely passed out at this point.
Shambles is working overtime right now.
Shambles was an absolute full effect.
It's live in Discord right now, guys.
Oh shit!
I thought he's doing what independent thinker? He's doing a fucking interview tonight.
No, the Good Nunya did her video premiere tonight. And it's about the letter and the Uni situation.
Done.
Oh my god!
I forgot I even did this upcoming section. Whoops.
Ready to come up? No, okay, you do a thumbs up when you're ready to go.
What the fuck? Is this the video? Tell the
truth. Oh my god, she put her helmet on.
I needed a full suit at that point in time. Shit was getting so deep. But I pulled the helmet out because, let's just say, it was definitely needed at this point. And don't ask, I'm just this ridiculous at all times.
Oh,
so funny.
What the fuck?
What are you doing? You being safety first, yo.
You got to do that with this thing.
Right, jeez. Okay, so guess what? We found out what the letter was. Ready for this? It was a cease and desist.
I can't.
I was almost speechless at this point in time.
Why? The first letter or the second letter?
There was no second letter. I think there's just one letter, and it was a cease and desist. EKC wrote JLR. He says he fucking signed it like a representative. The fucking plot thickens with the crazy. Look, I can't.
Well, you did say earlier that JLR has somebody that returns emails and answers a phone and shit.
So now we're getting our information from EKC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you know, you just got a fucking. I haven't even seen this fucking screenshot of it yet.
Miss Doubtfire. Can we trust EKC?
Not really. No.
But somebody said she's a sneaky little shit, but I mean, I guess she's had our back through this bullshit. But I mean, that doesn't mean she does, because she was for Molly too, and she was mad and said we mass flagged her, which was a fucking lie.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where to go with it. Like, I mean,
these are very treacherous waters we're in.
There's
Uni can pop his ass up here anytime and explain it. She can pop her ass up here anytime. I mean, the link is pinned, so
zero chance.
Tell us what you think. What you think, girl? Tell us. Put it on.
Because EKC has connections to Molly, which we've been seeing. They've kind of been doing her, bidding or whatever. And the fact that he claims that Molly and Betty were mentioned in it, was it like signed as the group of them, possibly, maybe?
And the letter was solely from JLR only.
I'm thinking like because of cease and desist. You know what I mean?
I see what you're thinking.
I have so many questions here. I don't understand why they would have been mentioned in a cease and desist.
Well, my guess is, this is my guess, because I saw a little bit of the screenshot, and it looked like it was like links to videos that Unirock did with Queen in the title.
Okay.
In the videos. So he basically, my guess, if I'm going to guess what the theory is that he got this, maybe he got the cease and desist. It's sent to a previous address that he was at with his mother. Maybe that was like, because, with been verified, it shows your previous addresses and whatnot. It gets sent there, it gets sent to multiple address. He goes there, and instead of just like keeping it quiet and going to his lawyer, he puts on a community post, QueenBee was mentioned in this, basically clickbaiting people, and then proceeds. And then when he gets calls out on it, he realizes, oh shit, it doesn't say anything about QueenBee. It just says a link. And then proceeds to like fucking do like, multiple, lies upon lies that makes it worse. But all it was is basically probably a cease and desist and then they just linked videos that he supposedly defamed Jonathan Lee Riches in with the links. So that's what my guess is. I'm guessing with that one. I could be 100% wrong, but that's what I got in my head basically. And then he and what happens is that, just dug himself deeper and deeper into a hole because now he can't show the letter, because if he shows the letter, then it proves that he lied and he made it sound worse than it was, that his claims that his mom had to be armed, that Queen was mentioned weirdly in this letter, and all this stuff is revealed to be complete lies. So now he's like basically just trying to hope that people don't, now he's saying the FOIA request and all that stuff to cover his ass that he basically just lied about Queen being in the letter.
And I agree with B. Tim. I think that Uni was grabbing onto anything just like the FOIA comment because he had no intentions of ever showing this letter to anybody. So he was finding excuses of why he couldn't show the letter for the next excuse. He was just building excuse after excuse after excuse. He would have never shown said letter if he wouldn't have been backed into a corner. And just a reminder, he's never even shown it himself. He showed it to his Discord peeps when he heard that EKC had a hold of the letter. And he has still not been truthful about the contents of the letter.
Well, I mean, honestly, I look at it as a good thing because he showed his ass on full display in front of everybody, so it made my job easier.
Yeah, that's what.
And that he absolutely did.
I think that's if the letter's real.
I hate to say it that way, but I don't even know what to say right now. Like, oh, and they're saying in the chat too, the names were mentioned in titles of the video. So
yes.
Of what she showed. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm just blown away because there was no need to inflate. This goes back to inflating things, making them misinformation, and all for content and show. And then again, involving a female creator with kids as a, all of this stuff was
recurrent theme with them.
Yeah, it's
for a subject.
Yeah.
All set up for no reason.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's if he got a letter. I don't know if JLR just typed up something and just sent it to EKC, right, and then just basically said, this is the letter I sent, or just lies. Because you're dealing with EKC, you're dealing with Jonathan Lee Riches, and you're dealing with Unirock. I don't know who's the liar, who's the truth teller. I don't know, because they're all lying.
But EKC definitely doesn't like Uni, so I don't know why she would lie about it, but I don't know. I mean,
there's lots of reasons to lie if you don't like somebody.
I guess. Yeah. I know, but that would, if she's trying to help, it's helping him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in this situation it's probably different because they have had such a past for so long that I think she would take any opportunity to whatever it is. So
right.
I would hope that she's not another one that's fabricating stuff. I mean, I can't even imagine that being the case at this point. Is anybody honest in this situation?
No, I don't know if anyone's honest. That's the problem. It's like, we need to see the letter. We don't know what's going on. Jonathan Lee Riches is a liar. He lied 2,600 times to the court. So how am I going to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Where did she?
And sadly, that is absolutely the truth. When you have liars lying on liars, it's hard to weed through and navigate all of the many lies that are told. And when you have somebody or a group of people that have the past history, like some of these people do, it gets extremely complicated because 99% of it is emotion driven, not fact driven. And their motivation behind outing information like this is a personal gotcha versus concern of the community, or that right is right and wrong is wrong.
Supposedly get a letter from JLR.
JLR.
She emailed him and got a response from his assistant or something.
Which that lines up with what Heels was saying, that he has an assistant.
But he might know that from Heels' videos, or whatever, from just like hearing her.
Yeah, J Dub says she's trying to cash in on it too. Yeah, it could be that. I mean, like, you just don't know.
You just don't know. Yeah.
It's so stupid though. This is like so like 7th and 8th grade, like middle school shit.
Yeah. I think it was just her hatred of Uni that got her involved. And a little bit of her alignments with other people like Molly Golightly.
Unnecessary, just unnecessary.
Yeah, what's going on?
I mean, not scaring Queen, but I remember last Friday, a week ago, that coming up, and everybody, moms particularly, not that dads, aren't the same, but when you have kids, especially young kids, and you get something like that, and the person's history or any of this YouTube kind of stuff, you're going to be alarmed. And the way that it went down in a posting, on a community tab, and here we are a week later, and all it is a bunch of fuckery for sub grabs and drama and content. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
because,
it's crazy.
Not only does it put Queen and an unsettling position. But it also, if you're accusing JLR of making threats, that whatever contained in that letter was so threatening that your mom had to, load her firearm because she had fear, like and it's not true, you're putting JLR in a position that he doesn't deserve to be in either. And trust me, he's not, right is right and wrong is wrong. I guess I'm just going to say that. You can't, whoever you're making the shit up about, I don't care, what their record is. They don't deserve that. If they have a record, attack them on their record. You don't need to make shit up.
The fact that he was willing to lie about somebody who knowingly is on probation without any regard for anybody's safety or concern of the fact that he could potentially get somebody hemmed up in a situation because of his lies is astounding. And to go to the extent that he was going to and including other creators in his lies says all I needed to know about Uni. In my opinion, his behavior is extremely dangerous to those around him.
Well, here's the other bad part of this that a lot of people might not know either. We kind of watched some of this today, and I didn't even realize, but in one of his videos, the first video that he tags Queen in, timestamp is 1740 in the video. He does admit that it's not a C&D, but in that same video, a couple of minutes before that, he actually talks about crude AF. And what I noticed is Uni definitely did his research on JLR and poking him. Like, he went excessive and beyond really fast because he wanted a reaction out of him, in my opinion. Like, it was very aggressive, but in my opinion, again, it looked like he almost pushed those buttons quick, like the women's underwear thing. It was really aggressive, and he knew the reaction he could potentially get, but then to get a reaction and claim that these people are doxing and then they're stalking and all it is a C&D, like, those are some pretty hefty ramifications. You're accusing people of some pretty major things, and here it is, a C&D.
It is still my opinion that Uni poked intentionally to get a reaction from JLR. He just didn't expect it to go the way it did. He didn't expect that he was going to be questioned or asked to provide proof of his accusations. He expected to just be believed and trusted on what he was saying. When in reality, a lot of the claims he was making just aren't how these people move anyways. And sadly, many in the community know that because they've actually gone rounds with these people.
Demand for retraction. Well, the other thing is it's not doxing for one creator to send, that you've said things about that they don't care for them to communicate with you in a letter. That is not doxing. You bringing it to a public platform, begs the question. I mean, you can't really complain about it, but it's not doxing. Like, let's get our terminology straight.
Thank you.
And that, my friends, is the real Lady Justice speaking facts about what doxing is and is not.
And it's just weird, though, to me, like, to make it such, because you would have had content just by leaving it alone. If it's a C&D, like, just show that there's your content. Like, all the inflammatory stuff was so unnecessary. And now it, like, I don't know.
Well, plus the other thing I thought that's kind of like, it just hits me different is like all the JLR stuff. And maybe it's not to Queen, and be Tim, like, jump in, but maybe it's not to like this channel, but like to me, and I haven't been on YouTube that long. It's like when JLR came on, post Gabby Petito, and when he started getting involved with the Summer Wells trip, all that stuff came out then. And, Crude, pushed it, the Glare pushed it, other people pushed it. And it's like, it's like old news. Like, and he's trying to, he's picking up on stuff like he's the big badass, in quote, this community. But it's like old news. So I don't even understand. I'm embarrassed.
It's content. It's basically like you can use past behavior to correlation with like future behavior or present day behavior. You can predict future behavior, and then you basically say, well, okay, present day behavior reflects past behavior. You can do that. The problem is he doesn't do that. He doesn't do like a comparison to be like, okay, on this case he's working on with his Idaho 4, for instance. I'm just using an example. He's doing this, what he did in the past. All he's really doing is basically like, oh, I grabbed a couple of YouTube videos of him being crazy in the past. I'm going to just keep on re-educating. And it could be useful if you're educating a new audience that has no clue about him. But the problem is he's not quite doing that successfully, because you need to, like, I mean, if I was to do it, I would probably, like, the first thing I would probably do is like probably do a Deets in the Streets video. That one was like probably a fantastic little documentary that you could probably watch. And then you would just basically say, okay, now we're educated. Now we're going to look at the present, like another past case that was covered by him. And then we go to what he's doing now and how what he's doing now is negatively affecting true crime communities and true crime in general. But he doesn't quite do it that way.
Right. So like the tragedy pimp angle and what he's doing to victims of crimes and their families, not shit that he did, pre-YouTube or involvement with victims of crimes or their families. That's kind of my point. And
hey, Casey, what's up, chick? How you doing? I just seen you came over here. I'm sorry, I just let you up. I was busy for a second. But anyhow, I got an email saying you were talking shit. Then I got an email saying no, you wasn't. That you were actually going over legit stuff. And I was like, okay. Because at first I'm like, oh my god, I can't fucking do another fake ass letter. I can't.
Yeah, I got a message in my comments saying QueenBee's over there calling you a bitch. I'm like, I don't know why she would do that. Right
Yeah.
now.
Well, as soon as I got the email that you were over there talking shit, I'm like, I cannot with this shit. I fucking can't.
So EKC has joined the panel to explain this letter and what she got from JLR, as you can tell. And yes, I remained silent most of the time and was respectful because I was on Queens.
Okay, so to answer everyone's question, I can't deal with Unirock. I can't deal with the stories, the circle talk. I can't deal with it. So I just went, I went right to the source. I went to JLR's YouTube channel and I went to the about section. I was thinking about emailing, but I saw that there was a website. So I pulled up the website and there was a contact form or whatever on the website. And I'm thinking that if anyone's contacting him or them or whatever about this letter, they're probably not doing it through the website. So that's why I went through the website.
Yeah, absolutely not. I would, and I've always been told don't click on it because he can get your information that way, I guess, or something along those lines. So I never have went to his websites ever.
Okay, whatever. So
most people with a brain would never go to his website and click the links, considering what everybody knows about him as fact. I mean, the man has quite the past history. And you don't have to watch a Unirock video to do it. You can go watch Heels, Deets, Burnt Toast. There's a lot of great channels that you can go find the facts from.
Yeah, so it was an email submission form. So I sent him an email and, I tried to sound very professional and everything, saying, this is true. Did you send his mother, family members, whomever a letter? And if so, may I ask why? And if you did, can I learn of the contents of this letter? So, and someone got back to me today. It was someone named Magnolia. I'm guessing I don't know, but they say that they are JLR's channel producer and brand manager, or the channel producer and brand manager for JLR Investigates. And so they told me that it was a retraction demand and notice to cease and desist letter intended solely for the owners and operators of the Rocket channel. Only one letter was sent out. However, there were copies of this one letter sent out to multiple addresses via certified mail to ensure it was received. But they were unsure of Unirock's police residence, so they sent it to several addresses, I'm guessing.
So there were 2 letters, but they were exact copies that were sent to multiple addresses so they could ensure service. And yes, it was sent certified.
And they assumed that they got at least one address right, after hearing and seeing all the shit he was saying yesterday. And yeah, so that's it. The letter was not sent to his mother, but it was probably sent to his mother's house. And the letter did not reference or refer to anyone else, any other creators. The only time anyone else was mentioned was because they were citing one of Unirock's title streams or title for the streams. And example they gave for this was Betty and JLR full on D QueenBee Molly Go Ban Evady Cringe Theater Live. That's how you were mentioned.
You can see on the screen right now a full copy of the letter, so you can read through it if you would like to. This is the full letter. There is absolutely no mention of his mother, no threats, no nothing in this letter. Just a generic C&D.
Oh, okay, that's what I repeated. I said earlier.
Yes, the live stream about JLR and Betty doxing me. He used that and made it into content.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what I said.
Was it emailed or handwritten?
It was emailed.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was certified. It was certified mail sent to the addresses, but it was not handwritten. It was not handwritten.
Not handwritten.
In another one of Uni's claims, it absolutely was not handwritten. Why he ever claimed that it was handwritten is beyond me. And no, the mom excuses don't work for me.
That's why he refused to produce it, because he said it was handwritten and he refused. And then he said he tagged me. He didn't fucking tag me. Couldn't find it. Even Navy couldn't find it. None of us could fucking find this tag.
Yeah.
So if you go back to what I said last night, this is exactly, and I was kind of careful with what I said because this didn't play out all the way, but this is exactly what other creators that have received communications from JLR have received. It's a form letter. It has the retraction, the demand for retraction, cease and desist to quit doing it, and it comes certified mail, and they email it if they can find an email. And the certified mails go to whatever addresses they're able to find on the word search, your name search.
Which in this case must have been his family's addresses.
Yep. They said that, like I said, the mother was not at all mentioned in the letter. It did not even mention his mother. However, it said we included his father in the salutation simply because it's difficult to imagine that Unirock is capable of running a full-time YouTube channel on his own. And we felt it was logical that his father must provide some level of support.
I'll admit, I laughed about that part because I was like, well, I can see where they got that logic.
What? I thought it was funny, though.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
That's an illegal document?
What is the season?
Yeah, well, it's JLR. I mean, like, fucking
okay.
whatever. You know what I mean? That's how it is.
Well, we don't know.
It was not handwritten.
Yeah, it was
It says, in fact, one of the they shared with me, some important details regarding the letter. One of which they come out and specifically state the letter was not handwritten and it did not mention Unirock's mother.
Yeah. Well, my guess is that the reason why it was probably, just like you said, it was probably sent to his mom's address, because if you do a Ben verify, sometimes it just shows a bunch of old addresses, misinformation. So it's not really like the wrong address maybe, and they just sent a bunch of them. And one of the locations could be a relative that he was living at previously. I mean, it happens. I mean, like that's why a lot of this stuff is like inaccurate when you do these background searches on people and you do Ben verified. A lot of times they get shit wrong, like the wrong address. You don't know how many times it's shown. I've been on when I've been removing my information from these search engines that I find like it has my address that it's stating that I'm living at somewhere I lived like 20 years ago as the address. It's sometimes they do that. So, maybe at one point he was living at home and then just basically never updated the information. He uses that, he sends that there, and that's pretty much the situation. I just can't believe it. If that's true, it's like,
it sounds like this is exactly what happened. I have a question about the cease and desist. Hold on.
You could feel the frustration from everybody at this point.
I was done. You can go, Haley.
Oh, okay. So JLR could have just sent the cease to anyone, mostly Lady Justice. Like he could have went to legalforms.com and printed out got his a cease and desist from there and sent it, right? It didn't
it's not even really a it's not even really a form. I mean,
yeah.
If you do demand for retraction cease and desist, you can just use it's like not an extensive letter. It's dear so and so, my name is, I represent so and so.
Yeah, you can probably just pull it up on I know, because you could do those legal those different forms online. You could just do it, so you don't need to have an attorney involved.
No, and they don't. Betty and JLR, I've seen. I haven't seen Betty's, but I've seen JLR's. And actually, I did see Betty's from Crudes. So they are using the same. Pretty much. I can't say exactly because it's been a while, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's nothing spectacular, and it's a push button B after button A tells you what the address is of the individual.
Once again, that is factual information from the real Lady Justice.
It's not a big deal.
The template, and that last part was added by JLR, that weird part. But you could probably put your additional comments at the end on those online when you do it, or whatever.
I agree with
did
you.
it.
Yeah, I agree with Nessie. Mercury is definitely in
oh yeah,
in the Gatorade.
In the Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Mercury is definitely in Gatorade.
It's like a lunar eclipse and a full moon.
I don't know who the creator is that came on. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, but
CKC.
Nice job on getting the information, and the rendition that you gave was very succinct. No drama, no extra, and you got all the important details.
Yeah.
Good job.
Amazing. Lettergate solved.
And I will agree with the real Lady Justice. Thankfully, somebody got to the bottom of this, because Uni would have never been honest about it. But beyond the fact that she exposed the letter of Unirock, I've got nothing else good to say there. That's it.
Almost.
Did you send you a copy of the letter or anything?
Send it to QueenBee.
Yes, would you please? And let me apologize for saying for calling you a fucking bitch, because I was like, I've just had enough. I've had enough of this whole fucking week of Lettergate, and I know she ain't fucking over there talking shit. I know she ain't. No, I want to apologize for that, because I was wrong, and I shouldn't have said that like that. I should have just waited and watched, but I was just, you know what I mean? I'd had it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, but don't worry about it. So it's all good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thankfully, somebody got the letter to QueenBee after all this time.
I think she said it more in jest of just being frustrated with being the
content.
Yeah, because I'm just being
thrown. You does that to people. I get it.
For fucking content. I'm really sick of the shit.
Hey, EBC, was it the same letter mailed to multiple addresses?
Yes.
Or was it separate? Okay, it was identical though.
Yes.
Yeah, she's saying there's not a bunch of different letters. You know what I mean? There's just one letter but sent to multiple addresses.
Oh, so that's why he's claiming that there's a second, because they probably mailed it to his mom and then mailed it to him.
Right, so they mailed one to him, one to his mom, one to one of his old addresses. I'm sure they probably, you know what I'm saying? They've been sending wherever they think he lives or used to live.
And if you want to, technically, hey, there's a second letter. Technically, that's not untrue. There's not a different letter, but
there's a second letter.
That's the whole thinking.
Oh my God.
He spins every word, every little word.
That's word salad. I mean,
yeah, that's word salad. And that's from an attorney. That's from an attorney too. When an attorney says that's word salad, then you know it's word salad.
And Uni knew that they were the exact same letters. Again, he had no intent on showing the letters, so he was going to run with the fact that there were two of them and let people just run with their assumptions. He was never going to be honest about it. He was also very careful the way he worded his post about the second letter. And Uni was still over there thinking, but I'm the victim, you guys.
Do do the letter, and then the legal way to know that you have notice and it's legal service is the certified mail. So when you're getting a couple of certified, letters, it's the same letter. It might be a copy. It might have an original signature. Kind of depends on what mood I'm in or what my secretary gives me when I do them. But it's the same letter. He's not that ignorant. It's all,
he was just
all BS.
Spinning it. Yep.
Exactly.
So Unirock, the cat's out of the bag, bitch. Go find some new content.
I mean, this is true. This is like the week of basically people self-destructing. You had Avery, you had him. It's like people that just simply could have just solved the issue very simply. Said, with him, he could have just easily said, yeah, I got a cease and desist from JLR. You could have laughed at it. You could have said, oh, I can't mention it. I'm retracting these videos for legal reasons. I'm being silenced by JLR. That could have been your video.
Right.
I've been silenced by JLR. I have to do this. I'm being attacked by JLR.
Remember,
It's like you're
and the letter. I go to scribble scrabble on it that I couldn't. Oh, wow.
Well, this is what he does, right?
You went to those depths,
and he just and he just completely self-destructed, trying to just oh my god,
Complete self-destruction on his own.
Here's the thing, or he could have handled it just like Alicia did. Like, what the F, JLR? Really? Like, go to hell. I'm going to keep saying whatever I'm going to say, but I just kind of want to say this and then I'm going to jump down. You know, Uni and any other creator that does this to a parent with children, it's disgusting. It's vile. You don't have a place on this platform when you put fear in the mind or the head of a parent that their children or their family may be in danger. And you know damn well, Uni, what you did by the way that you handled this. You're not ignorant. You're condescending as hell. You tell everybody how you've been here for 8 years and you know this and you know it all. So what you are doing is very calculated, and you need to find another community to do it in, because it's not going to go down here like it did this last week.
And I agree with the real Lady Justice 100%.
Love to you all, guys.
Before you hop down, can I ask you one
Yeah,
question?
sure.
Would a cease and desist be considered doxing?
No. I think I've said this a couple of times. Doxing is going on the, it's going on. It's kind of the act of going on the internet to find out information, even if it's publicly available, and to use it for a bad intent. Okay, your intent is to cause harm,
malicious,
or to cause fear, or any of those things. And so a letter is not a dox. And then not only is it a letter, but it's legal notice being served on you that illegal, unless you do this and that, legal claims are going to be made against you. So that is not a dox, or I'd be doxing 50, 60 times a day. I mean, get real, dude.
I figured while you were here, I'd have you clarify, because that term seems to be very confusing.
Well, somehow I had a feeling that he was going to get hung up on the word dox because we've been watching him do it for days. So I made sure while she was present to make sure and ask her numerous times that this did not fit the term doxing, and she definitely explained it. Thank you once again. I forgot it was hard dox though.
Act of so people say, and in the Laura, Molly, those kind of channels is, well, it's already out there, and Alicia even does this, and she kind of drives me crazy when she does this. Well, I've already had to dox out my whole life. Well, no, the thing is doxing is when you go on the internet or to other sources to find out information about people and to use it in a way that I don't know the right word for it. That's not genuine. There's not a legitimate purpose to do it. You're doing it to harass,
malicious intent,
embarrass. Yeah. Your intent isn't good, and pure in what it is that you're using it for. That's a dox.
Thank you, because he claimed it was doxing him too at the same time. So I was just making sure that.
I know there's so many terms that get like thrown around, and that's where, and people think like, I've heard several creators say, well, it's already been out there and da. And even Laura, I don't care for a lot of stuff she does, but I've heard, people say, put her name out there, her last name, her real last name, and say, oh, well, everybody knows what it is. She's put it out there. Well,
she had a YouTube channel for 2 years with that name.
Right.
Okay, so that's not a good example. So then she puts it out there. If she talks about her kids, she's putting it out there. I just hope that we don't go low in using kids for content, but that's not a dox if they're putting it out themselves.
A lot of terms are misused and overused.
Going and finding someone's criminal record to put it out publicly on the internet. What good, useful purpose is there for that? Maybe if you're a criminal, a suspect or a defendant in a case, the sleuthers will go after that. But to be going at it to look at information on creators or their subs, there's no good intent there. That's a dox.
Just like they had done to Queen weeks previous.
So I don't care who it is, or even your picture in that. You're doing it to create fear in that creator or that sub. That's a dox.
Thank you for answering that.
Yeah. So, don't ever use your real information. Whoever's listening, don't ever use your real information. Unfortunately, the way technology is people that don't want to cam up. Sorry, but that's a little bitch argument too. There's so much vile, disgusting behavior that happens on these platforms. And, we all know you can do a reverse image search. So not putting your face on if you have kids or you have a business and you don't want that. That's called being intelligent and not opening up yourself, your home, your family to that kind of destructive behavior. That's not, you don't have a legitimate point to make if you don't cam up or, whatever. That's nonsense.
We have nonsense here.
I'm gonna
yeah, but she's a badass.
I'll be honest, I'm so sick of the word nonsense also.
I'm going to step down. Queen, I sent you the letter, and I also sent you the official statement, too, if you wanted to look it over. So
thank you, PC. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Bye, guys. Thanks for having me. Take care.
See ya.
I'm going to jump down, too, unless you have any questions.
No, I'm good.
All right, guys.
Send the bill to Queen. You got to send the bill to Queen.
She has pro bono. Pro bono. It's my work for the I don't know. Maybe I'll get some of those shoes that you
Coalition.
got.
You're doing coalition work right now.
No, it's anti-bullying. That's my thing. Anti-bullying and harassment.
And to think all of this could have been resolved with removal of a couple videos.
Free legal services. So, anyways, guys, have a good night. I think we found the ending to the story with more facts than we've seen over the past week, huh?
Yeah, thanks for all your awesome legal.
All right,
you know.
guys, have a good night.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
She gave some awesome free advice too.
You got a $20 super chat. You got $10 from Briahana. Briahana says they were live streams. He could have deleted them and never said a word. No one would have noticed a thing. It's like people were falling over themselves. It's not like people were falling over themselves to rewatch them a month later. That is true. And then you have Cashmere75 says, I'm going to need to ask for permission to put the Hive down as my emergency contact, please.
Oh, no, I don't want to be in that responsibility. No, thank you.
What a week. Yeah, it's just a fucking weird. I mean, like, it wasn't less than a month ago that, like, EKC was up here. She was accusing us of all, and now she's up here proving a fact about JLR and this. It's just this is definitely a weird.
Well, they gave a lot of creators content for a whole week.
It was frustrating as hell is what it was, actually. There is literally endless amounts of content that a person could make. So doing situations like this is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
They have such a past, though. That's not shocking. They have a really big past of stuff with them. So anything she can do to set the record straight on him, I think that's where I have a hard time trusting her, but I trust her. Like Nunya said, I trust her hatred of Uni to be factual on this. Like,
well, I can endorse the hatred. Hatred is supreme. That's for me. It's very much. I can trust that.
And I still stand on that. She stands firmer in her hate for Uni than she does in the pursuit of the facts.
It's all about hate.
How embarrassing, though, that he just exaggerated that whole.
Yeah, he could easily.
The thing he does, though, from what I found,
Yeah.
if he can overinflate it and blow it up, he will.
But he didn't need to do that. Like, I'm just being like the complete. I'm just being like the complete. Like, let's say I'm just being the asshole. Beats him. Yeah, like I'm being the asshole. Beats him right now. In the situation, like if you really wanted to milk it, all you would need to do. Once he really needed to take those videos. Let's say you go to your lawyer. Your lawyer's like, listen, these videos are defamatory. They're fucking bad. You will get sued if you don't take these videos down. So what you do is you say, listen, you take the videos down. You put your community post. You say, hey guys, JLR is silencing me. I'm getting under his skin. But in advice of counsel, I took down these videos. You make a couple of fucking videos about how you're being silenced by JLR. You make those types of things, and then you just move on. But instead, he just it's like he completely fucking self-owned himself. It's like
he shot himself in the foot, so to speak.
Yeah, he overstepped too much.
Just like Molly, he has nobody to blame for his downfall but himself.
People around him co-signing this beat him. And like saying this is the way to go. And like I am literally blown away by watching how many people blatantly ignored safety concerns for content and then come to find out here is a letter and it's a cease and desist. That's all he had to say. None needed. And all of these people have co-signed his behavior. It's just mind-blowing.
Well, a lot of people sat by and co-signed all of this BS that had gone on up until this point. This became the turning point for many people that had supported Uni all along. And I'm sure a lot of them were embarrassed by the fact that they had co-signed so much of this and then learned that it was lies at this point in time. And I'm only talking about a few of the ones that were close to him that really co-signed his behavior. Most of the subs were in the complete dark.
The same thing people accuse people who follow Molly of being blindsided. This is what unfortunately it happens on every side you're on. That people just basically do that, unfortunately. It's very disappointing because I thought it was different with I didn't know about his past, but I thought like, oh, okay, he seems pretty cool, and just it turns out that he did this, and he's just basically.
Is he going to now try to act like he didn't know it was a C&D?
Well, at this point, nothing he's going to say is going to matter.
He said he went there and he saw the letter, but he didn't take a picture of it. So
yeah.
Did he read it?
In his first video, he said.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. Nick with the perfect reply. I would hope so. The tone in your voice. I would hope so. Like it's just you're completely done with this. You're like motherfucker.
Like, did his mom read it?
Yeah.
It's everybody's fault but Uni's, though. Hello.
His mom did read it to him over the phone.
I can't with this anymore. I just can't. This is so fucking stupid.
Like somebody's got to be playing some freaking joke on us here because there's no way that.
Yeah, Uni is.
That is for sure. He definitely punked all of us.
Mitch the bitch over here is 40-some years old, acting like I'm serious. Like, what?
That's how my ex-husband used to act.
Do you know how nosy all of us are? Like, seriously, you think that was gonna fly? Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, like this is a crowd of people that read autopsy, go through medical examination, like police reports, like they watch trials for just for the fun of it.
And a third of us have been threatened by JLR ourselves.
And Voices dropping some more facts on that.
When I got doxxed, I went and Googled myself and all my family members to figure out what people were going to find, and I found some interesting shit. Like, these people dig and find some shit. Like,
oh yeah, you took my. What I do is I personally make them remove my name from the search engines when I go there. I do that for when I type. It's like a fun game I do. I type my name in random search engines and see if there's anything that pops up, and then I make them remove it. So
that's a good idea. So that is really a good idea for safety concerns. But
that's what I do.
And people should be allowed to be anonymous if they so choose.
I did an stop being doxxed video, like live stream. We went through different ways to remove your information from online. I like everyone to be anonymous, and that's my goal. People being anonymous.
B. Tim, I think you need to do another class on that, actually.
That's pretty much it.
I think my mouth has fallen open and I still can't get it to go quite shut, and that's really weird for me. I feel almost speechless in this sense. Like, who does this shit? Like, really? There's no rationale. Like, you cannot twist this anyway to make it like, nothing.
He didn't need to do it. No. He really didn't need it. He could have easily, if you're just being like, you just wanted the damn ability to just make money and you didn't care, you could easily have turned that into content. You could have easily been like, look, he's afraid of me. He's trying to silence me, guys. He sent me a cease and desist. I have to take down
something. We got him.
Yeah, like really, like, and then you make it like you add Queen into it, because I think what he tried to do is he tried to like tie in Queen's audience with his, and then all that stuff, and that's just fucking disappointing.
It was so incredibly disappointing to learn this
pattern of that behavior. I was kind of showing that today, and I didn't even recognize some of how that stuff maneuvers. And Boston was there, I think, when I was talking about this too, and like seeing them kind of use him in a way, and it's just crazy. Like, this is just so unnecessary, and a lot of us were genuinely concerned. We sit here and talk about the dangers of these things and how their behavior affects victims, and we talk about the safety all the time, especially like when people are getting doxxed, like Queen was a couple weeks previous to this, and all of her stuff was being thrown out there, and then he goes and uses her name, mentions her, and like the whole thing is just so unnecessary. But the level that he was willing to go to lie on somebody for some content is really disturbing for me, I think.
Especially while knowingly lying about a person who is on probation for crimes that they did serve time for, and knowing that your lies could impact somebody's freedom and having no care about it. That doesn't sit well with me still to this day. And I know what we're dealing with. I'm not co-signing JLR's BS in any way, shape, or form. But we still don't do the very things that we accuse them of doing. There's no need for it. They do enough on their own.
Manipulation level.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to manipulate Queen's audience. It was almost like he wanted us all held hostage till his next live.
Yeah.
And
he really thought this was going to turn out differently than it did.
Just bullshit.
I mean, it's disappointing because this is a guy I would watch a little bit once in a while, and just to find out that
not anymore.
Well, yeah, not anymore. But like this guy, I thought he was pretty cool for a little bit because I didn't know his whole past history and all this shit. But just like
found out anything yet.
There's so much, right?
I'm sure there's probably more.
Oh, Tim, don't go digging. It's awful.
Put it this way, Tim. I shouldn't be surprised by this, but even in his past, like, he does stuff like this, but it's not, I don't know, not in a setting like this. Like, it's usually
I guess it probably looks different in different communities, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
absolutely agree with Ellie there. I think it does look different in every community, but I also think that a lot of people's past history plays a role in their current situations with other creators. For some, that past motivates a lot of their current behavior.
Like this, and this is exactly what we say about like other people that watch Dolly. We say people say, how do you not know about Dolly's past? And it's like, well, it can happen to me too. You know what I mean? Like the same thing that happens to people that watch Dolly don't know about Dolly, or same people that don't know about Betty's past. The same thing happened to me. So I guess I can't really use that excuse. You say like, how could people not know about their past? Well, happened to me.
You don't know until you know. That's the thing
with
everything. You have to you don't want to research somebody until you really have to start researching somebody, right? And then when you do, that's when you learn. It's like you can't get mad at yourself because it's just like we all are walking into
Sadly, in many of these situations, you don't know until you know.
If you're in the thick of the topic too, you're so consumed with that, so you don't really pay attention to some of the stuff going on. Like it's weird because it is easy to pass on that stuff. I didn't know half of the stuff he had said before like watching him, because there's not somebody that has enough time in the day to watch all of Queen's lives. All of you just can't do it. You can't. There's no possible day, so you miss a lot.
Yeah,
taking it out of order. So when you do catch up, it's a totally different topic. So you missed 10 other things back. That has been the most interesting thing, is watching how fast the topics change and people are confused instantly.
Well, I mean,
and that's why a lot of these people get away with doing their constant grifts or lying to people, because the amount of information is so much and it moves at such a high rate that people don't see a lot of the things that are going on. Therefore, people get away with this type of stuff, which is just the course of how things work. But then there's the aha moment, just like this was.
Like, this is Queen. Like, QueenBee covers a lot of stuff. If you actually watch, like, look at the all different types of subjects that we jumped in, we do jump to a lot of different
I love
things.
it though.
Soup to nuts, baby. Soup to nuts.
Yeah, I never know what's coming next.
Yeah, like, I mean, at one point we had Ryan Upchurch here arguing that it was all a GoFundMe scheme about faking someone's death, and it wasn't a real person. To another one where, you know, like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Then we had, you know, so many weird situations.
How we got bamboozled by.
Let's be honest. I live in catch-up mode, so I'm constantly trying to keep up on the topics or what's going on.
Dolly the other day. He
jumps up and runs.
He jumped up and shit right all over all of us.
I was so
You got a
pissed.
ghetto girl in the back. Just let you know, you got a ghetto girl in the back.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, bring that ghetto girl up here.
I got
Her in the back.
All right, nonsense. You have a good one.
But I wanted to say one more thing before I left, because Molly, Moose Knuckle Magoo, even I hate to mention that, but that rotten one said that when she goes on vacation, something crazy happens. And I hate to say it, but you made Molly right too, Uni. You made.
Yeah. Oh shit!
God damn it!
Molly said that they're gonna start fighting with each other soon.
No, she just said every time she goes on vacation, something big happens. There's something big that.
Well, and this ain't fighting with each other soon. This is calling out somebody who fucking blatantly fucking lied and told a big dumbass fucking story.
Yeah.
Stupid story. So dumb.
Making JLR and Molly right on a couple things. I'm done.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Next JLR will jump on the panel and he'll.
Hey, Uni, just a reminder, we're not the ones that made Molly right. That would be you, because you showed your ass on a huge scale. But I still think you would be the perfect fit for Hooves on the Ground there, Uni.
At that point, I'm gonna be like, guys, I gotta go to bed. This is a weird scenario.
Like Tim's gonna say I'm gonna skedaddle. I don't buy not. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you. And EKC, I didn't get to tell you thank you. I appreciate you coming up too. Thank you for solving Lettergate.
She solved Lettergate, but Uni continued to lie about it.
Well, y'all know why I'm up here, right? Because I just had to say, Uni's a buster. Like, he's stupid. I told y'all he's a lie. Told y'all he's a whole lie.
He's a whole fucking lie.
He's a whole fucking lie.
He's a lie.
You a buster. You need to leave the internet. Like,
He's not going anywhere. He's been through this many times.
Every community he's ever been in, similar things.
Because he has no shame. Little man has zero shame, dude.
And that girl is spitting fact after fact after fact.
Obviously,
Some of his Discord people are not fucking happy. I bet they're not, because you know what?
Good ass buster.
I can play games with. That's bullshit. I wouldn't
Damn
want
right.
to be either.
Made them all look stupid. Those
People
people don't
fucking think they're good people, and they're not. They turn out to be a turd on a paper fucking plate. Shit.
People like go through like a grieving
Damn
process
it,
when
no
that
turds on
happens.
paper plates. It's waffle time.
And sadly, a lot of people were hurt by this situation, actually.
But he likes to be made a fool out of, and that's what he did. Is he just made a fool out of all his people?
Yeah.
Buster.
He made complete fools out of his own family, out of the Uni fam, out of his wife. He didn't care who he was impacting. It was all about Uni.
And he has good people. I mean, like,
He does have a lot of good people. He has a lot of good people backing him up too. You know what I mean? Navy Tech seems like he's a really good dude, and for him to, you know, saying that to be caught in the middle of this bullshit, it's fucked up. A lot of people are caught in the middle of it because they are good people, and I do fucking like them.
Yeah. The Navy's known for 4 years, so like, I mean, when you have that loyalty to somebody, and you want to believe them, and you want, even when they're wrong, you still want to get their back.
You know what? There comes a point where you have to be an adult, and you have to realize what the creator you're backing is doing, and either call it and then make a change, or you have to walk the fuck away. I've done it. You have to do that. That's what you have to do. You have to have some convictions and some morals yourself.
And it seems like a lot of people lose those with a little bit of attention on YouTube.
And I want to point something out if I can, again.
It's freaking me out.
I specifically asked him, tagged Navy to ask Uni, and he asked him on his live, was QueenBee threatened in said letter? He got irritated with the question and said, I've already gone over this. Nobody was threatened, yada, yada, yada. And then I'm on this panel talking about it the day after or later that day. I don't know in YouTube world. And he comes up and says, maybe it's more threatening than he originally planned.
Jesus.
Or
He said
thought,
very
not planned.
threatening. He said
He
very
said
threatening.
weird. He said
I'm just
weird.
saying
Threatening.
what
earlier
he
on.
said to
The
me
weird.
when I was up here specifically.
And I'm
He
telling you,
said,
that's all code word for he's a
maybe-
buster.
He said, maybe now that I'm looking, it was more threatening than I originally thought. So
I appreciated Follow the Grain for coming up and saying this so much, because I felt this but could not articulate even what I was feeling or thinking at the time.
listen to this. He let a mother believe she and her children possibly were threatened for a fucking week, you piece of fucking shit. I am fucking pissed. And this should be the takeaway from all this. Not the content he got from it, not the clicks and the likes, what he actually did to somebody personally. That's just as bad as going real fucking life.
Dude,
And I 100% agree.
Sound mad like you just figured out it's all a fake. Did you think that shit was real?
I am mad. I don't even care if it was real or fake. What I care about is I asked a specific question he said no to. He knew it was a point of concern. He knew Queen was concerned about it. He knew her members were concerned about it. He knew exactly what he was
Well,
doing
yeah,
and
especially
kept
with the
doing
bullshit
it.
that they just fucking pulled, and he knows what the fuck they pulled because he fucking went over it and goddamn it used it in his fucking live stream.
How many times
he absolutely knew what they were doing to Queen because he made content on it numerous times. He was well aware of what he was doing and continued with the games.
say it was handwritten? How many times?
Oh,
He's such a buster, you guys.
Yeah.
He's so full of shit. I'm so glad.
The fraud buster gets busted.
Dude,
He ain't no fraud buster, that's for sure.
The fraud buster got busted.
he's so
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. It's
I
just
hope he keeps spinning it. You watch. He is going to keep spinning it.
yeah, he is. I mean, he's probably
Independent thinker was spot on because he did just continue to spin it round and round.
like all
the
their
world turns.
they're
Yeah,
going
it's gonna
after
keep on
me.
going.
They're working with AKC. Look at they're coming after me.
And he can't spin fuck this well enough to get out of
Right,
it.
I was about to say, he can't spin this good enough to get the fuck out of it. This is fucking wrong as
This
hell.
is YouTube.
All you can
He's
do
gonna
is
spin
is
it.
apologize and then move the
Watch.
fuck on from
Yeah.
it.
There's
no way he can spin this. There's too many of us that know the truth.
You watch.
Well, he
And it would have been a super simple fix. He should have taken accountability for what the letter was and then apologized and moved along. Instead, he spun it into every direction besides the truth.
spins it before, guys. So I know, you know what I mean. He's gonna keep on spinning. He'll spin right
Oh,
into
yeah.
another community and do
Yeah,
it.
he's
And
going to spin his ass right on up into another community.
So I'm not shocked the letter didn't exist, this threatening letter, because obviously there was a letter. But what I'm shocked about is what he did to Queen
Yeah.
for no fucking reason.
I'm not shocked at all. I'm just like, told you so.
I mean, it really isn't a letter. It's a freaking
The magician's
document.
being it was all premeditated, which is pretty fucking. That's
fucking even worse.
It's way worse, in my opinion. I agree with that.
Damn right, the magician's banner. It stands for what?
Yes,
He went to his
ma'am.
mom's
Yes,
house
sir.
and
Yes,
read.
ma'am.
He read it.
Yes,
So it
magician.
obviously was not handwritten. So if he tries to say something like, "Oh well, you know, I just took my mom's word for it," no, sorry, homie, that don't
No,
work.
Nikki, that was my other point. Thank you. Because this was after he said he went and read the letter. Remember,
Yep,
he went
yep.
and read the letter.
Mhm.
He's seen the letter. And now that he's thinking about it, it is a little more threatening than he originally thought. After you read it, and it's your own fucked up title that you were reading that you said he mentioned Queen in a weird fucking way. So that means you're just a weird fucking asshole with the title, dumbass.
It was his own title.
It really does. It means that he is a
And you
weird
didn't
asshole
recognize-
that gets off on threatening people for no reason. The only threat to Queen was you, Uni. You're a weirdo. Who gets off on threatening women and children for no reason? Who gets off on that? But a
Yeah,
fucking
and
weirdo.
How do you not recognize your own title, Uni?
And all for what? What were you trying to get out of this, Uni?
From not that long ago. How do you not recognize, especially when it's on a cease and desist letter or redaction request, that it's your title of your video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
What are you smoking?
What are you smoking? I love you, Chris. You're so funny. Yeah. Mhm.
And sadly, at this point, I think this is just who that guy is. This is just him.
That's really gross, though, if you think about it. Like, who does
It's all
that?
gross. The whole thing is a dumpster fire. You know, I mean,
Disgusting. I can't even be mad because I knew he was a buster.
yeah. I mean, that's the
10K,
thing.
10K.
But
Okay,
to,
what is a buster?
what a
is buster?
spin.
Is
What a
there-
I can
spin.
be mad. I mean, I know Queen can hold her own, but God
is there
darn it all,
a
no.
slang word or what?
Got that eye. Is that an eye that's looking at us? Green.
And it's very important for people to realize we were all in different stages of processing this. He intentionally lied and involved female creators with children in a quote unquote threatening letter that he claimed he got from, once again, his words, an unstable character on the internet. And all of it was fabricated for no reason but attempting to look like the victim and some clicks and views on YouTube.
It is. My third eye, Uni.
I feel it, girl,
motherfucker.
with the lunar eclipse. Like everything is
fucking
being
weird.
uncovered, right? Tonight, that's the whole theme of this, like lunar eclipse, like uncovering
Look at
the
Oh my
this.
truth.
What part of
Such
the
a
world
hippie.
Okay, just want to put that in there.
You're such a hippie, dude.
Does anybody know what part of the
I
world?
mean, I'm willing to get a beer so I can shotgun it for a celebration that we found out. Lettergate.
Solved. on
Does
the lunar
anybody know what part of the
eclipse.
world gets to see the eclipse tonight?
It was this
Uni's
morning,
a
I think.
buster. Uni's a buster.
Yeah.
And that girl had every reason to celebrate him being seen for who he is.
Oh, you look so dumb right now. You and your little kinky tops and your busy bee thing. You're such an idiot.
He's been down this road
Brain's
before.
so
This has
bad,
happened to
and
him
I'm
before.
just tickled to death that he's such an idiot. Like, thanks for proving me right, fool. You're such an idiot.
How did he ever think this was going to fly?
I just came up to point out a couple of things, and I'll give my disclaimer ahead of time that Baby Jesus took the night off today, and
Oh,
violence has
no,
stepped
Nunya.
into the building.
Bring it, girl. Step and preach. Step and preach. Let's go.
Okay.
Just a trigger warning to some of our islanders. If you have never heard Nunya speak very passionately about a topic, you might be a little taken back because this is Nunya. And when Nunya feels passionate about something, well, here is Nunya. No apologies needed, just a warning of don't take offense to her speaking passionately about something. Most of you islanders have seen it from her, but some people have never seen this side. And she has been called scary before when she talks with passion. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer. It's my favorite when she gets like this, to be honest.
So kind of to add to what Grain was saying, the problem with what he has done is it's not the first time. He had no problem going real life with Dre and bringing extra harassment and things onto her, which she is a victim of the internet to an extent,
and refused to take any accountability for that situation.
And he had no problem with bringing, extra trouble onto Nonsense with her CPS stuff. Now Queen, for me, I'm starting to look at, do you just not respect women?
Yep.
Like, you truly don't give a fuck about the safety of women, and that's dangerous as fuck to me.
No, he's done it to some men too in the flat earth community. This one guy, his video was like, he was just as upset as all you guys in a different, just in a different way, because of the same shit.
But honestly, let's talk about it. If you have, let's just say you've got 15 women and one man, that doesn't add up to me.
I kind of have to go with Nunya on this. He clearly feels like women are an easier target or whatever the case may be, or men just won't fuck with him because he's not a man. Damn it, Elton, I got to mute.
In my opinion, he's just a true misogynist. That's it. That's all.
I just think it's a pattern of behavior. I don't know if it's like gender specific, but you never know. I don't know.
Definitely, I'll give a pattern of behavior for sure. But what I'm saying is, from what I know, what I have been here and experienced thus far, it has been against women.
Yeah, well, the makeup community. I mean,
everything
like,
that I know,
children at that.
Everything I know of him about actually does kind of, except for the Steve McRae deal, but he was only involved in that because of a woman. So I just think that for him to there's just a certain type of yuckiness to it. Like, that's why I called him a weirdo, because I agree with Nunya. It's weird. It's weird to do that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I sense some underlying issues with women in Uni's past, because he's definitely got an issue there.
He doesn't respect people. And
I could walk in a relationship with this fool. Could you imagine if he wanted to get his way on something, the lengths and depths he would go to gaslight you? Could you even imagine?
That's manipulation at its finest. I don't. It's lying. It's lying and manipulation, and then he gaslit on the panel. So the other thing I wanted to point out is, to me, fuck anybody who has stood by this entire week and not questioned him.
I'm gonna second that comment and direct it to
all
Navy.
of you who have stood by this week, and I'm not talking about, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about the subs who are like, no, I believe he's going to produce a letter. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who have adamantly said to him, no, Uni, you're right. Fuck those people. They're so wrong. I don't know why they're being so hateful towards you. Poor Uni. Fuck you all. Every single one of you has taken this week out to make us defend some of the trashiest fucking people while saying, it's not like he's as bad as JLR. It's not like he's as bad as Betty or
Navy,
Mommy.
I hope you heard that. I hope you hear that, Navy, because I'm going to take her words and direct them at you, sir.
The entire situation was so disappointing to so many of us, because people like Nunya and Boston Nick had been used as a part of these games. And there's still been zero accountability or apologies from many of these people. And I understand that many of them got hurt in this whole game that Uni was playing too. But they played that game with Uni up until the last moment. In fact, some of them still stood by him even after this live.
Oh,
deep breaths.
No, like I was trying to make a video, right? So I put out the timeline, and as I was clipping parts of the video, there is a part where Uni says to Navy, can you see how I handled any of this wrong? And Navy says the only problem he's seen was Uni actually fucking responding to any of it. Why in the entire fuck, Navy? Like, I trusted Navy to be a good fucking man. I believe that he is absolutely fucking genuine. And to turn out to be a person who won't fucking say, listen, dude, my man, that shit is wrong. Wrong is wrong. This is a woman who's fucking children and she's worried about them.
Preach, sister, preach. Like, I'm there with you on that.
That's some fucking bullshit. I don't give a fuck who you are. Wrong is wrong. If that is your friend, how disrespectful to you. If you don't even know, let's just, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that maybe he just believed that there really was an actual letter that contained the threats and all that he was saying, right?
Well, so
why the fuck did you not, as a grown man, question that shit?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
I love when Nunya speaks like this. Speak it, Nunya.
It's like, I don't fuck around.
Yeah. I mean, Navy has to know his behavior. He's been with him 5 years. Unless he looks away, you know.
But it's not just him.
Time.
Tonight,
Every
I've
time
seen-
y'all say it, y'all add time to how long. It doesn't matter if it's 2 weeks or 2 years.
Yeah,
Any
you
with one
stood
eye and half
by.
a brain knows that this is wrong. And a real man would stand up just like Nunya's saying.
And on top of that, I seen his fucking mod going into EKC's chat tonight, right? Not appalled at the fact it's a fucking cease and desist and doesn't contain shit that that Uni has said over this past week, right? They don't give a fuck about that. What do they want to know? Did you get the letter redacted? Bitch, nobody gives a fuck about his location at this point. We give a fuck about his behaviors, about his lying, about his skeeziness.
And everybody's entitled to have their opinions on who they like or who they dislike. But when you are affected personally by the gaslighting, games, and manipulation that these people played for absolutely no reason, some people start to see it differently. And far too many times, we don't see the warning signs until it's us that it's happened to.
I'm just going to say, if I were him, I'd make sure it was fucking redacted first, too, after all the shit he's pulled the last week.
He doesn't deserve for it to be redacted first.
But that's why they're worried about it.
No, I don't agree with that. No, it needs to
No,
be
I
redacted.
mean,
Just,
I think
no.
it should be redacted, but that would be like, how do you stand by and that's your only concern?
It was, and the letter was redacted, I believe.
Yeah, it is, but still, like, how is that your only
speaking for him?
question?
They're still closed-minded, freaking brainwashed people.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to be concerned about Uni's safety. Meanwhile, he completely unnecessarily involved a female creator with kids in an entire premeditated game for clicks and views on the internet. People were genuinely concerned about Queen's safety. But meanwhile, they're concerned about Uni's private information on a cease and desist. And he's been out here challenging people to sit as their true selves, fully exposed for years and years. But yet, as soon as somebody brings it up, you doxed me. No, Jason, you doxed yourself years ago.
I don't know. It's just fucking sad. It's really sad.
And what's sad is
And
there's
yet-
so many of them out there.
Well, I mean, like sometimes people.
Congratulations, because the same echo chamber that he spoke on that
Yeah.
Molly has had since he started covering Molly, that's when I came over. That same echo chamber that he spoke against so hardcore is the exact fucking thing that.
Well,
he
it's
created.
something that people.
He definitely had an echo chamber. Definitely.
Like,
see what's fucked up is I wish Navy would come over here and click the fucking link and talk to us instead. He's fucking probably sitting there getting his ass fucking ripped by Uni or talking for talking to us and stuff. And that's the fucking worst part
they're
about
probably
it.
being gaslit.
They're all good. You know, there's some really good people in his fucking Discord and his chats. I really do like him. I genuinely do. And it sucks that they're not going to be able to come over here or say shit in here because they're going to get fucking booted. That's fucked up.
Yeah. But anyway.
And unfortunately, situations like this absolutely cause divides. But some of these people were a part of the divide that was caused too. And I can still agree that Uni had some amazing people who were a part of his Uni fam that were absolutely burnt during this entire situation too. But the fact still remains. Uni didn't get to the spot where he was so comfortable lying and manipulating people that he went to this extent. He had help and encouragement all of these years. He was used to people co-signing and covering for him. There was many deflection tactics used throughout this entire time frame. Hopefully this look back in part 8 at what other creators had been criticizing Uni over and their problems with Uni helps people to start to see that this is a pattern of behavior from Uni and the people that were around Uni. It had been such a targeted hate campaign towards nonsense up until this point that I thought it was really important to showcase the other creators and their experiences with Uni, because a lot of them had gone through very similar things that I have. And still today, he has taken zero accountability for any of his actions or any of his lies. All of this completely unnecessary, but Uni has taken zero accountability. I hope you all enjoyed this quick look back. Again, thank you to Down the Rabbit Hole News, Heels in the Air, QueenBee and her wonderful panel, and of course, the wonderful Nunya, who is a part of the Three Stooges, I mean the Three Tessas. Oh wait, there's more Tessas than that. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, thank you all so much for letting me use your content. And we are finished with part 8 of the Uni-doxx series. I look forward to seeing you again for part 9. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and if you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up on your way out. Also, you can find all of the creators' links in the description box below. Hey Uni, and a message to you. Maybe next time you want to mess with a bunch of strong females, you'll remember this.